splendid day for football at the Meadowlands. Nothing but blue skies as the undefeated St. Louis Rams at 5-0 take on the New York Jets, 3-2 on the year and tied for first place in the AFC Eastern race. And welcome everyone to the Meadowlands. Dick Stockton along with Moose Johnson and Troy Aikman. Trunk candidate will make his first NFL start at running back today in place of Marshall Faulk, who is sidelined with a bruised knee, a residual effect from last week's grueling defensive win over the Giants. What can we expect from the Rams with that today, Troy?
Well, the first thing you need to realize is that you don't replace a Marshall Faulk. He's a very accomplished player. But Trunk Candidate has some special skills of his own. He's very fast and very explosive, and you can look for the Rams to try to take advantage of that early and often in this ball game, both by throwing the football to him and running them. We talked to Mike Martz. He says we are not going to change what we do offensively, and what they do is throw the ball often down the field to these explosive wide receivers.
All right, I think that the onus has to be on the Jets. They have seen many different approaches on how to handle that tremendous St. Louis offense. What might their plan be today?
Well, I think they're going to use a variety of things. And the number one thing is to disrupt the rhythm of Kurt Warner. They're going to try and do that with their 4 down linemen. They're going to bring 5 or 6 with some blitzes. Look for Mo Lewis to line up outside as a pass rusher. But the most important thing is the offense. They've got Curtis Martin. They need to take some time off the clock, establish the running game. Watch for Vinny Testaverde to let that play clock run down to 1 or 2, 3 seconds left.
All right, and right now our UPS keys to the game. First, the Rams.
Well, the big thing is they got to get Trunk Candidate involved in this game early and let him get into the flow of things. The other thing that they have to do on defense is they have got to contain the Jets running back Curtis Martin.
It's going to be important for them to control the clock, and Herman Edwards used this in Tampa Bay in the 1999 NFC Championship game. And sure tackling. Their receivers like to catch their passes in full stride. They can't let them get those extra yards.
So the stage is set. It'll be the Rams against the Jets in an interconference battle, and we'll be back for the opening kickoff in just a moment. And welcome back to the Meadowlands here at East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the St. Louis Rams, who are 3-0 on the road, taking on the Jets, who have already lost 2 at home. And let's send it down to Pam Oliver, who's with the Rams quarterback, Kurt Warner.
All right, Dick, thanks a lot. Kurt, you have the luxury of a lot of weapons, but you're minus a pretty big one today. What do you need from Trunk Candidate?
We just need Trunk to be consistent. You know, we need to have him get going in the running game, sustain us in the running game, make the plays that are there to be made, not try to force anything, not try to do too much, not try to feel the pressure too much. Let the other guys work their things and get open and make the big plays, but just be consistent in there for us.
No secret you took a beating last week, and I'm sure the Jets are going to try to do the same. How confident are you that you can get protection up front? I'm
very confident. You know, I think that was a one-time thing. Unfortunately, we had some guys banged up and hurt a little bit, but you know, we're strong this week. We feel good going in, and you know, obviously it's going to be a key. We need to get protection, but if we do, I think we're going to be all right.
All right, have a good one. Thank you very much. Let's go back upstairs to Dick.
All right, Pam, and they should get it because the defensive front of the Jets not nearly as proficient as the Giants, and Mike Martz aware of that. And speaking of Trunk Candidate, he said to us that he'll shock you with his speed. That is one asset that he has that may be superior to Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, and everybody that we talked to over the last couple of days, they all rave about the explosiveness of this guy and his speed, and they want to get the ball in his hands, and they'd like to get the ball in his hands out in the open field to where he can utilize some of that speed.
And Moose, as far as the Jets are concerned, they are still adjusting to the transformation under Herman Edwards from the 3-4 to the 4-3 front.
Going from a 3-4 to a 4-3 front, and also Ted Cottrell coming over from Buffalo, and they used a 3-4 in Buffalo. So a lot of different things going on there. And also the offensive side of the ball, they're trying to install this West Coast offense. So there's a big learning curve right now for the New York Jets on both sides of the football.
And there is Marshall Faulk, and believe me, he wanted to play all week. He was in Mike Martz's ear, and Martz telling me before the game that there is no guarantee that he will suit up for next week's critical clash against the New Orleans Saints. They will decide during the week. So we're ready to go. The Jets have won the toss, and Jeff Wilkins will kick off for the Rams. Lamont Jordan and Craig Yeast, number 84, to return for the Jets. And the kickoff going into the end zone, and Craig Yeast will run it out from 3 yards in. And Yeast gets some running room and gives the Jets good field position on the opening kickoff, returning it 35 yards. The New York Jet offensive line, it has been a solid one. Paced by the anchor at center, Kevin Mawai. Corbett and Lavernius Coles. Coles catching 2 touchdown passes last week, but Curtis Martin, the leading rusher in the National Football League. He is the only number 28 playing today. We could have had 2 brilliant ones. So Vinny Testaverde, who has yet to throw an interception, starting from the 33. And the tight end, Anthony Beck, going in motion, and pressure on Testaverde from Chidi Ahanatu, and there's a penalty flag down back inside the 20. Referee Terry McCauley. And they're going to call intentional grounding against Vinny Testaverde. An inauspicious start for the New York Jets and Vinny.
Boy, I don't know about that call. They got Vinny running a bootleg out here, getting outside. He's close to being outside. Well, the problem there is he probably got outside the tackle box there, but the ball has to travel beyond the line of scrimmage, and it did not do that there.
And Richie Anderson, his intended receiver, who was coming underneath, got caught up in some traffic with that play action and actually just stumbled down. He would have been right in the area that Vinny threw the ball.
Well, Hanadu put on the pressure, but Leonard Little has replaced him on a passing situation, to say the least. 2nd and 26, and they run the ball with Curtis Martin for the first time, and he picks up about 5 on the play. Well, the Rams defense, night and day compared to their performance of a year ago. Rookie Damian Lewis, but Grant Wistrom one to watch. Brian Young is the other tackle. London Fletcher, the middle linebacker, with Mark Fields and Don Davis, 2 new faces on the outside. And in the secondary, Dexter McCleon and the veteran Aeneas Williams. And Adam Archuleta, the rookie safety, as Lovie Smith coming over from Tampa Bay. He was the linebacker coach there, and he has turned this Ram defense around dramatically. 3rd down and 21, and the handoff inside to Richie Anderson. He breaks a couple of tackles, but doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. And 4th down coming up, and the Jets will kick.
And right there, just a situation where Herman Edwards wants to manage the field position. He doesn't want to take any risks right now early in the football game, take a chance on having the turnover or punting from deep in his own territory. So right now, he wants to kick the ball, cover this punt, and make St. Louis drive the length of the field.
Tom Tupa, whose average is at the bottom in the NFL, gets off a good kick. Oz Hakeem at the 25, looking for running room up the middle, and he is dragged down as he gets close to the 35-yard line. So now the Rams go on offense, and Kurt Warner leading the way, the #1 rated passer in the entire league. The offensive line, Orlando Pace is the ace, and Rod Jones replaces Ryan Tucker, who is dressed but hurt at right tackle. Trunk candidate, the main running back, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, just 2 of a host of wide receivers.
And it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on Rod Jones, the tackle who's playing in the place of Ryan Tucker, who struggled in last week's game and allowed some big hits on Kurt Warner, to see how he plays today.
Jeff Robinson is in as a 2nd tight end, and he is in motion, and the handoff to Candidate has blockers in front of him, and Trunk Candidate picking up about 3 yards on the play. Marvin Jones on the tackle. The Jets defensively, and they have had problems stopping the run. John Abraham, Steve Martin, Shane Burton, and Sean Ellis. Most of those players have been hurt with nagging injuries. Farrier, Jones, and Mo Lewis, the linebackers. The corners are Marcus Coleman and Aaron Glenn, and Damian Robinson, the free safety, and Victor Green, the strong safety, who clinched last week's game with an interception in the last half minute. 2nd and 7. Ricky Prohl in the lineup, but the pitch goes to Candidate, and Trunk Candidate is stopped at the 42-yard line, about 3 yards short of the first down by Steve Martin.
Well, we talked about how they wanted to try to get the ball into Trunk Candidate's hands early and let him get into the flow of this ball game. And the first 2 plays, they came out, give him the ball and let him run.
That may be a little bit uncharacteristic for the Rams, but remember, this is a defense that struggles against the run. And Trunk Candidate, you talked about his breakaway speed.
Scored the game-winning touchdown against the Giants last week. 3rd and 3. And Kurt Warner going to the air, and the pass intended for Bruce knocked away by Ray Mickens. And so the Jets force the Rams to go 3 and out on their first possession.
Yeah, that's going to be important for the Jets to maintain that throughout this ball game. They've got to limit the opportunities of this offensive football team for the St. Louis Rams, and third downs are going to be a critical key down each and every time they get into that to keep from giving them more opportunities with the football.
Atlanta jumping up ahead of New Orleans 7-0. John Baker back to kick. Craig Yeast, who was cut by the Cincinnati Bengals in his second week returning kicks. Chad Morton still out with injury. This kick will bounce, and the Yeast will let it roll, and it takes a Ram roll and will be downed at the 10-yard line. 48-yard kick when all is said and done. No score early in the game.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
10-yard line. Each team has had the ball once thus far in the game. The New York Jets, who have not been able to put two good halves together, were trailing 17-0 to Miami, came back and won 21-17 to continue their dominance, 7 straight over the Dolphins. Fake handoff, and on the slant, the pass caught by Lavernius Coles. First down for the Jets as we check in with our first game break of the day to James Brown.
Hey,
JB.
Dick, here's the visual embellishment of the score you gave. Chris Chandler, play action, looking for a guy they want to incorporate more in the offense. The tight end, Algie Crumpler, 57-yard touchdown play. Falcons on top. They've outscored their opponents 45-3 in the first quarter. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
You know, the Falcons always give the Saints trouble in New Orleans somehow.
And you just don't see tight ends running down the field like that either.
You had one that might have gotten down there. Jay Novacek, first down on the 23, and here's Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin wending his way with a brilliant piece of running out of bounds, close to the 40, chased out by Kim Herring as Martin picks up 17.
You watch the blocking up front with Randy Thomas and Ryan Young and Anthony Beck. They're along that right side, and Curtis Martin, he has an uncanny ability to make people miss. You see right there are bodies around him. He's able to use his feet and his quickness to jump back outside. Kim Herring running him out of bounds, but Curtis Martin has shown that he is the real workhorse for this offensive football team.
He picked up 120 yards last week. Off to a hot start. First down on the 39 of the Jets. Here is Testaverde looking for a target going outside. He was looking finally for Richie Anderson, who was well covered by the rookie Adam Archuleta.
Paul Hackett talked to us about the fact that one of the reasons that Vinny doesn't have the interceptions is because of his management of the game. He's going to get off a guy if he's not open right away, and you saw right there, he's looking downfield, he's going through his progressions, and when nothing's there, he takes a shot out to the flat to Richie Cunningham, but he is not forcing anything this year after that tough season last year.
Yeah, and he's still getting acclimated within the West Coast offense and what's being asked of him, and he's played very well within the constraints of this offensive system.
Second down on the 39, and here again is Martin, but this time the Rams have the answer. Stop for no gain at the 40-yard line. London Fletcher filling in the middle to on the tackle.
You know, London Fletcher, one of those guys that's a carryover from last year's football team. 8 new starters on this defensive team for the Rams. London Fletcher, their middle linebacker, he's one of the holdovers and really the somewhat of the ringleader of that defensive football team in there amongst those linebackers.
They're the 3 who are held over, Grant Wistrom and Dexter McCleon. But 8 new starters, and they're gelling in a hurry. 3rd and 9. Testaverde stepping up. Flag goes down. Vinny gets away from danger, and he finally is tackled at the 43-yard line, well short of the first down. And Grant Wistrom, the aforementioned Wistrom, putting the pressure on, and we'll have a face mask call against the Jets.
And Grant Wistrom's going to use his speed to get upfield, and Jason Vabini's trying to help inside, and as he reaches out to get on his guy, you can see right there he gets a handful of face mask and pulls him down.
Face mask, offense, number 69, penalties decline, 4th down.
So 4th down, and the Jets would have come up short anyway, and now Tom Tupa is on to punt. And Oz Hakeem back deep for the Rams. Rams getting a break with great weather conditions on this natural grass surface. Not much wind, and it's been dry. Here's Hakeem on the 11 returning, and he slips. Well, here we are. That doesn't happen on the carpet. 47-yard punt that time by Tupa. We'll be back. No score. No score. 9:43 to go in the first quarter between the Rams and the Jets. Rams, the only undefeated team remaining in the NFL. Rams' second possession of the game, starting from the 23. Warner's pass is caught by Oz Hakeem, and he slipped again. Troy, that's the second time Hakeem has slipped, and you wonder about that grass, and Mike Martz may have some concerns about it.
Yeah, that's going to be a factor in this ball game. And I talked to Mike Martz prior to the game and asked him what he thought of the conditions of the field, and it's a real concern of his that on the outside, inside the numbers, the field is in pretty good shape, but outside the numbers, it is very slick. And in last week's ball game against the Jets, there was a number of guys that were slipping. You see here, Hakeem, you know, he's slipping, and they're going to have, that's going to be a consideration in this game.
And the pass attempt by Warner is batted down back in his face. Mo Lewis. And you brought it out at the opening, Moose, that the Jets are going to have to rely on other people than their defensive line, and Mo Lewis a prime candidate for that.
And whether they line up Mo Lewis on the outside and let him rush or blitz him from the linebacker spot like they did right here. But one of the important things for this Jets defense, when you get close, get your hands up in the air because this ball comes out a little bit low.
Effector, 3rd down and 9, and here is Kurt Warner, and he's got the open receiver Torrey Holt for the first down at the 40-yard line. A 15-yard pickup with Ray Mickens defending.
Well, one of the things that the Jets are trying to do is they're trying to rush with 4 guys right here, and if you give Kurt Warner time to throw the football, which you will when you're only rushing 4, he's going to find people down the field to throw the football to. Here's Torrey Holt. He finds a hole. Kurt Warner delivers him the football.
Of course, the key for the Jets, I would think, Moose, is that you got to tackle them. Don't let them get more yards after they make that reception. Rams picking up the first down on the fake pitch to Candidate, and Warner now goes back to Trung, who makes the catch, and he slips and is down after a pickup of only a yard.
You know, one of the other points that Mike Martz made when he was talking about the conditions of the field, he said the guy that he thought it was going to affect the most was Trung Candidate. I asked him why that was, and it's because that, as we mentioned earlier in the game, Trung Candidate is a very explosive running back with tremendous quickness, and he felt that he would be the guy who would be affected most by the field conditions.
Mike Martz telling us that the speed that Candidate have will shock you. Very exuberant, but the turf catching up to him. 2nd down and 9 from the 42. Again, Warner looking to throw, getting some pressure. The ball nearly knocked out of his hands, and finally Warner goes down for a loss of about a yard. Shane Burton picking up the sack for the Jets.
Well, now they're able to bring some pressure. They bring the linebackers up inside, and they get all the guys, Mo Lewis coming up the middle, and they get 5 guys rushing, which creates a havoc for the offensive line. John Abraham, number 94, coming off the corner, is able to strip Kurt there. Kurt's lucky he was able to get that ball back.
3rd and 10. The crowd is heard. Trying to escape more pressure, and Warner lets it go, and it's caught by Trung Candidate. And Candidate, as a receiver, gets away. So Kurt Warner, running for his life, hits Candidate for a gain of 29 yards into Jet territory, and a first down on the New York 30.
Just doing a good job of avoiding some of that pressure right there. And you've got Rod Jones. This time it's Sean Ellis to the inside. But look at Kurt. He steps to the outside. He's so patient in the pocket. He doesn't have the happy feet. Stops, sets his feet, throws the ball to Trung Candidate. And there you get to see some of that speed that you were talking about.
Yeah, and Kurt did a great job of showing his poise. He fumbled the snap, was still able to get back and find Candidate, get him the football.
From the 30-yard line, the Rams in Jet territory. Candidate is down quickly by Eric Abagu. Bagu, who played in many run situations last week against the Dolphins, stuffs the second-year running back for a loss of a yard.
Well, when you got a Bagu on the outside end there and nobody's even going to come out and block him, he's right here. He's going to come right off the corner. The tackle was trying to give him an influence block. They're trying to run a type of draw and get him rushing up the field, but a Bagu sees that, is able to come down the line and make the tackle.
Again, 2 tight ends for the Rams. 2nd and 11. They're trying to protect Kurt Warner. Here's a play-action pass going the other way, and it's Ernie Conwell who makes the play. Conwell inside the 20. Fumbles, and the Jets pick it up. So the Jets, who have been creating turnovers all year long, and Aaron Glenn picking up the fumble, and now give the Jets a +16 in the turnover ratio that has kept them in every game this year. We'll be right back. Here is Marvin Jones, who caused the fumble by Ernie Conwell, picked up by Aaron Glenn, giving the Jets a first down on their 13-yard line. Still no score in the first quarter, and a end around by Lavernius Coles. Coles getting by McLeon, and finally cannot stay in bounds, goes out of bounds after picking up 8 yards on the play.
Marvin Jones caused a fumble, but watch Eric Abogu right here. The hustle that he has. He's coming in to pressure the quarterback. All of a sudden, he reads the screen. Watch him chase the ball down the field. And this is a mentality that Herman Edwards has brought to this New York Jets football team. They will have 8, 9, 10 guys around the ball when it's moving downfield. And that is the reason why they are +15 in turnover, now +16.
2nd down and 2 at the 21 for the Jets. They have 3 wide receivers, make it 4 for Vinny Testaverde, opening up the running lane for Curtis Martin, who gets the first down. Well, the Jets do have some weapons.
So you take a look at what they're trying to do here. They're going to spread these receivers out right here, and they're going to create 5 in the box right here, and that gives 5 linemen, 5 offensive linemen blocking 5 defensive players, and they like that, and they feel that if they're able to create that, get the ball into number 28, Curtis Martin's hands, and he's going to make something happen with it.
From the 26-yard line, and the pitch going out and out of bounds, Curtis Martin. So a little trickery on the part of the Jets. Richie Anderson getting the handoff and pitching it out to Curtis Martin, who picks up 4 yards on the first down play.
And I like that call there because last week they used a similar formation with some ball handling and came back the other way with Curtis Martin for the big touchdown to get him back in that Dolphins game. So Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, knowing that they're watching the tape, gives them that same look, but gives them a different play going to the different side of the field.
Herman Edwards' intention to let that play clock run down to limit possessions. Down to 4. 2nd down and 6. Play action. Testaverde's pass complete to Richie Anderson. Second effort will give him the first down at the 37-yard line with Aeneas Williams on the coverage.
Jason Fabini right here working against Grant Wistrom again. You can see how he's always trying to get help to the outside. This time he's able to get out there. He's getting those hands up to the face again around that face mask area.
Yeah, you almost got another face mask there, and Vinny Testaverde doing a very nice job of getting the ball out, and that's stressed very much. And then you look at Richie Anderson. Earlier, he's getting the handoff. He's running the option down the line of scrimmage. Now they split him out. He's a very versatile player, and they use him all over the place.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line, and here's the handoff to Curtis Martin, and he is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Grant Wistrom.
You know, this offensive football team for the New York Jets, and as we mentioned, they're putting in a whole new offense. It's a West Coast offense, and offensive coordinator Paul Hackett has brought this in, And he said everywhere that he's put it in the past, in Dallas he had Danny White as his quarterback, and in Kansas City he had Joe Montana. This is the first time that he's not only had to teach a new offense to the players, but he's also had to teach the new offense to the quarterback. And Vinny has picked this up very well.
A lot of teaching going on as the Jets looking at 2nd down and 11. Curtis stopped short of the first down by 2 yards by Mark Fields.
The strength of this offensive line, guard, center, guard. Randy Thomas is going to be coming from your right guard. Watch him pull and kick out Grant Wistrom. The athletic ability that the guard, center, guard area has on this football team allows them to do a lot of different things in this running game that keeps that defense on their heels.
And the fact that this offensive line has been playing together as long as what they have, it allows them to really know what each guy is going to do. And people oftentimes don't realize how important it is for these guys to play together.
They let it go down to 1 second. A flag is down, and on 3rd down and 2, Lavernius Coles with the completion, and Vinny Testaverde indicating that in his opinion there was an encroachment penalty against the Rams. Here's Terry McCauley in his 4th season as an NFL referee.
Illegal shift, offense, offside, defense, penalties offset, replay 3rd down.
So Vinny was right.
The nose guard was offside.
But the Jets also had an illegal shift, so they'll replay the down.
Well, we talked earlier when the Rams had the ball how important it was going to be for the Jets to stop them on 3rd downs and keep their offense from getting more opportunities. The same holds true here with the Jets offense, that they want to try to maintain ball control, and 3rd downs become critical to take more time off the clock and limit the chances that the St. Louis Rams are going to have offensively.
3rd down and 2. Under a minute and a half remaining in the 1st quarter. Wayne Quebec going in motion, and Testaverde pumps once, and the pass intended for Quebec, and a flag will come down. Dexter McCleon was trying to cover Quebec on an underneath pattern, and the flag will go against the Rams. Then the officials huddle up, and if it does, it'll be an automatic 1st down for the Jets, which it will be.
Pass interference, defense, number 21, automatic 1st down.
Well, that flag came from a long way away. Field judge Scott Steenson was the one who made that call from a good 30 yards from where the play took place, and
he's got good eyesight.
Here he is right here, Dexter McCleon, number 21. Corbett trying to get back out of the route. McCleon hanging on to him and not allowing him to do it.
So with 1:12 to go in the 1st, the Jets have a 1st down at the 47. Penalty flag is down.
Gillette game, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and 15, which puts the Jets offense in a bit of a hole move.
Well, you're talking about running that clock down, but you've got to be organized in an offense. Somebody's got to let you know that you're getting a little bit too close on that, and that's one of the risks that they will run if they try and take it down too far. They've got to be happy with letting it get to 1 or to 2 or 3 seconds left on that play clock.
I mean, as we look at the time of possession where the Jets have the edge, you can let it down to 3. You get the idea that way, don't you guys? So 1st and 15 at the 42. Gibbs to Martin, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, nearly breaks a 3rd. And Curtis Martin running into Ram territory gets 11 of those 15 yards back before Sean Moran finally makes the tackle.
Well, the Rams wanted to start bringing some pressure on them there. You see Lennon Fletcher coming. Aeneas Williams came off the corner, and Curtis Martin was able to get up inside of the blitz, and that's the weakness of when you blitz. If you're able to get past that front line, you're going to make pretty good yards.
2nd and 4, and for the first time today, the Jets in Ram territory on their 48. First back through is Richie Anderson, and Anderson close to the first down. Looks to be short by a yard, and that may be the last play of the first quarter. Well, it's been a defensive battle thus far, and the Rams, who are one of the top defensive teams in the league, you know they can score points. And that is the end of the first quarter here at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Rams and the Jets are scoreless as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages. And welcome back to the Meadowlands as we start the second quarter. No score between the Rams and the Jets. The Rams were charging toward the Jets goal line, coughed it up on a fumble, and now the Jets in Ram territory have a 3rd down and 2. And covering up is Vinny Testaverde, a loss on the play, and the Jets will have to kick. So again, Troy, to echo your comments earlier, the 3rd down's always important, and that time the Jets in Ram territory couldn't convert the 2 yards. So Az-Zahir Hakim goes back to the 10-yard line, and Tom Tupa will punt for the Jets. Good kick by Tupa. And this one may sail and does into the end zone for a touchback. So early here in the second quarter by second. The Ram offense will take over from the 20 when we come back. The League Championship Series continues at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Most of you will see the Mariners and the Yankees, who lead now 2-1, square off in Game 4 of the ALCS here on Fox. You can catch the Diamondbacks, who are on the brink of eliminating the Braves. Game 5 of the NLCS over on Fox Sports Net. Boy, the visiting teams have had the edge in this series, both of them. Check your local listings for the game and channel in your area. First down from the 20, Trunk Candidate with a good upfield cut, picking up 4 yards on the play. So we have a scoreless first quarter early in the second. And Troy, what has caught your eye thus far in what we've seen in the first quarter?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that the Jets have been able to come out and do what it is that they wanted to do. They've controlled the clock. They've got 70 yards rushing in the first quarter. And the other thing is that they controlled the clock for almost 10 minutes in that first quarter.
Is nothing a moral victory for the Jets?
Well, when you play the Rams, nothing might be a moral victory, but they've got to take advantage of the opportunities. They've let a few slip through their fingers already.
On 2nd down and 6, the pass caught by Torrey Holt. And a first down to the 46-yard line of the Rams. A pickup of 21 as we check in on another game break with JB.
Hey, Dick, looking to beat the Skins for the first time in 6 tries. Carolina scores in his play action to Wesley Walls, the tight end, with his 4th straight game with a touchdown catch. On top of Washington in the first by a touch. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
People wondering whether the Rams will go unbeaten. What about the Skins going winless? That hasn't popped its head yet. First down at the 46, and there's a wide receiver screen to Oz Hakim, and he picks up about 4 yards on the play. Well, the NFC West, 3-team battle in Atlanta, leading New Orleans in the early going thus far.
Yeah, this is one of the better divisions in football right now. 3 very good football teams. I don't know that anybody expected San Francisco to be at the level that they're at right now, but well, there's three teams in New Orleans, San Francisco, and St. Louis playing awfully well.
What a huge game next week, New Orleans versus St. Louis, depending on what really happens today with that undefeated record.
And Mike Martz says he doesn't know whether Marshall Faulk will indeed be ready. Here is a pitch to Trunk Candidate, who changes direction, gets into Jet territory, and is tackled close to the first down marker at the 44 by Rick Lyle.
You know, that's an interesting play. They run the toss to Trunk Candidate, and it looks like he's going to start out to the right. He's going to move this way, and then you watch him. He plants his foot and comes back. You got Kurt Warner lead blocking for him, and Trunk's able to get up inside of that. But what looks like, here's another look at Kurt Warner getting out there trying to secure against Mo Lewis. You know, nothing pretty, but it's effective. And And that's a play that they want to use to try to take advantage of the speed of a guy like Trung Candidate.
And I know that you were always lobbying for that play back in Dallas when we were there, to get you out of the corner.
Lobbying to keep it from us running it.
They're short by less than a yard, and meanwhile Moose was lobbying to get the ball more often.
Yeah, you see, neither one worked. You know, we didn't run that play, and we never handed the ball off to Moose.
Third down and inches for the Rams on the Jet 44. James Hodgins and Trung Candidate out of the eye. And the pitch going to Candidate, giving ground and getting the first down. It has open field. And Candidate is knocked down. He put a great fake on Damian Robinson, and finally Mo Lewis making the tackle after a gain of 29 yards to the 16.
Well, talking yesterday with Kurt Warner, one of the things that he said that Trung needed to work on was his patience. And right here, I tell you what, he shows tremendous patience, because in the beginning, that play didn't look like it was going anywhere, and he picked his hole, let the blocks develop, and turns it into a very big play downfield.
Oh, and this is really his first opportunity to get extensive playing time. And last year, it was an injury-riddled rookie year for him, and he's excited about the opportunity to get a chance to come out here and play.
And there's where he's lined up, out to the left, but going the other way is Kurt Warner. If he can get rid of it, he can't, and he is sacked by Rick Lyle. That is the second time the Jets have gotten to Kurt Warner. The Giants got to him several times last week.
Yeah, you just wonder how many hits that he's going to be able to take. As you mentioned, Dick, last week's ball game against the New York Giants, he took 6 sacks, and he got hit even more than that. And you take a look at today, and here's 2 sacks and the hits. And in last week's game, the bigger hits were the hits that weren't even sacks.
You would know about that. It's after you let go of the ball. 2nd and 13, and there is the handoff to Trung Candidate. On the draw play, Candidate getting to the 15-yard line. Marvin Jones was in on the play. That was a gain of 4 yards.
You know, that's an interesting play that they run right there. They drop back and they fake the pass. You take a look. They drop back with Kurt Warner. They fake the pass here, and then they run the draw to Trung Candidate. Now, what they have off of this is what we'll probably see at some point in the game is they'll fake the pass, then fake the handoff to Trung Candidate, and then throw the ball down the field.
3rd and 9 from the 15. Play fake, and there's the pass into the end zone. Touchdown, Hakeem. So business as usual for Kurt Warner and company, and the Rams score first with nearly 5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter.
I'll tell you what, the play action, and it works because they've been able to run the ball effectively to Trung Candidate. It draws the linebackers up, Marvin Jones and Mo Lewis, and Hakeem is able to get in behind them and get the touchdown. But it was all set up because of the way that the Rams have been able to run the football with Trung early in this ball game.
Jeff Wilkins' extra point is good, and the Rams lead it 7-0. Last week, the receivers didn't catch a touchdown pass. They've got one now and a 7-0 lead.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by FedEx Shipping at FedEx.com. It's fast, it's easy, and it just got cheaper. By PlayStation 2. By Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And by DirecTV, the #1 satellite entertainment provider.
Marshall Faulk, who really is a coach who knows everyone's assignment, talking to Trung Candidate, his backup, who has played well as the kick comes to Craig Yeast inside the 5-yard line. Good speed by Craig Yeast, and Yeast gets into Ram territory. That's the way to bring the Jets back with a 50-yard kickoff return. Kim Herring making the big tackle, perhaps saving more damage. Big kickoff return after Hakeem catching the touchdown pass, giving the Rams the lead. 8 plays, 80 yards. Candidate with 4 carries, 42 yards. And Kurt Warner, by the way, has thrown 6 straight completions in 8 of his last 9, so he has been a hot quarterback. But now the Jets, starting from their best opening spot of the day, the Ram 47. Handoff to Curtis Martin, leaping over defender and picking up 2 yards.
We'll go back and take a look at that touchdown. James Ferrier right here, number 58. He's going to be responsible for going down in the middle and keeping Wk6 from getting there. The play action holds him up just enough, and Wk6 is able to get in there. Here it is right here. If you take a look at Kurt Warner dropping back, making the fake, but the thing that's most impressive is the way he sees the play and lets go of the football. No indecision on his part.
2nd and 8. And a penalty marker.
False start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains
Tight
second
end
down.
Anthony Becht, 5 yards. Let's check in now with James Brown on a Fox game break.
Hey, Dick, take a look. Chicago's up 10-0, but the key play was the A-train. Anthony Thomas, 46 yards, longest run for scrimmage for the rookie, and that set up the Fred Baxter touchdown. It's 10-0 Bears over Chris's Bengals. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
All right, JB, thank you very much. Back here in Sunsplash Meadowlands. Jets trailing by 7. 2nd and 13. Back at midfield, and here is Testaverde going to Becht. And Becht picking up about 6 or 7 yards up on that play. London Fletcher on the stop, and they get to the 41 of St. Louis.
You know, going back to the field position that the Jets have been able to create for themselves on the last 2 kickoff returns for the Jets, they've gotten great yardage and really big returns. And one of the things that Mike Martz told us in last night's meeting with him was that his kickoff coverage team has been outstanding, but the 2 kickoff coverages that they've had today, they've been less than stellar.
Anything but. 3rd and 5. Testaverde with the short drop. The fade. Flag is down. Lavernius Coles was the intended receiver. And a flag is down.
We're going to get Dexter McClean on pass interference on Lavernius Coles.
And the preliminary signal pointed to a penalty against the Jets, and now they got it straightened out, I think.
Pass interference. Defense.
Yep,
Number
they did.
21. Automatic first down.
Here's a look. Lavernius Coles starts outside, comes back in, and after the 5 yards, Dexter McClean is hanging on to him just enough that they're going to throw the flag for pass interference.
And some people might say that was an uncatchable ball, but by him holding him and disrupting his run, you know, he's not able to get into that position to make the catch.
That's the 2nd time that McClean has been called for pass interference. So he appears to be the target for Vinny Testaverde. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. And here is the screen to Richie Anderson. Anderson knocked out of bounds. And a flag is down at around the 10-yard line. Richie Anderson knocked out of bounds, but a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
There is no foul for holding. First down.
That's the best thing you can do. Pick up the flag if there is no foul. So a 20-yard pickup will go into the books for the Jets.
You wonder how some of these plays work the way that they do, and Kevin Mawai does a great job of coming out and leading on that screen pass. He's the center right there, coming out. Keep your eye on him, and he comes out and makes a block, which is able to spring Richie Anderson up inside, and he's the one who made it all happen.
So the 20-yard gain by Anderson, giving the Jets a first down at the 12 of the Rams. Ernest Martin looking for running room, picks up 3. And this is where Herman Edwards guys told us that getting 3 won't be enough in the red zone against this prolific offensive team. They've got to get the touchdown.
You can't miss your opportunities in the red zone, and that's one area that the Jets really focused on this week. The fact that they know that St. Louis has the ability to put a lot of points on the board. They don't know how many opportunities they're going to get in the red zone. When they do, they can't kick field goals.
And you can talk about the Jets. They're ranked 22nd in the league in offense, but in scoring, they do a great job of scoring when they get inside the red zone. They're 10th in scoring and very efficient down here in the red zone.
2nd and 7. Play action for Testaverde. Going underneath, completing to to Wayne Corbett. And Corbett, all he needed to do was get the first down, and it's close to the sticks. Corbett is tackled by Tommy Polley, a rookie, and Aeneas Williams.
You know, and Corbett, all Corbett does is make plays. It seems like whenever you watch this guy, he's out there making plays and making difficult catches. And this West Coast offense has been a little bit of a transition for him in that
Number 71 has reported as an eligible receiver.
in that a lot of the things that he does and he does effectively have been taken out of this offense, and everyone's having to get adjusted to the fact that things are a little bit differently within this West Coast offense, and Wayne's a little bit frustrated with his role within this offense, but he understands that long term he's going to be very effective.
Tied for second in the league with the red zone offense. It was a first down by the Jets. First and goal at the 2. Curtis Martin trying to get to the goal line, and a flag comes flying. Tommy Polley, a rookie from Florida State, and a holding call against the Jets. And again, we can't reiterate more. This is where the Jets can't squander opportunities. They did the last time when Testaverde fumbled.
Holding offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty.
And recovered
first down.
his own fumble. And now the Jets getting to the 2-yard line. Kerry Jenkins reported, and he's holding.
There's Kerry Jenkins right there. He's the guy that moved out to the tight end area. I tell you what, I don't like that call because if the guy goes to the ground, they're going to throw the flag. And, you know, it's down on the goal line. It's an area of the field where things are happening. And, Dick, you pointed out the fact that this is an area you cannot have penalties in the red zone. So just let the guys play in this area of the football field.
So, there's the play clock running down, and Vinny Testaverde will have to call a timeout. And he is incensed, and he's arguing with the referee, Terry McCauley.
Charge timeout.
Terry turns his back.
Well, the problem that we had on that last play, you saw Vinny Testaverde very upset. Watch London Fletcher kick the ball right there as the Jets come up. Kevin Mawai is trying to get the offense set, and he moves the ball. They're forced to call the timeout, and that was the problem right there. We thought maybe they wanted to reset on the clock, but the officials got to notice that he moved that ball.
So it is a first and goal at the 12-yard line. And the Jets with 2 timeouts remaining in this first half. And the pitch going to Curtis Martin. Martin has some blockers in front, and he is tripped up at the 5-yard line by London Fletcher, picking up 6 yards on the play. Remember, the Jets had a first and goal at the 2, and they're trailing by 7.
Well, this Jets offensive line, they've just done a fantastic job of getting off the ball, and they're really reestablishing the line of scrimmage with this Saints defensive front, and they're moving them out, and that's why they're able to pick up the yards with Curtis Martin that they have been able to up to this point.
Couldn't ask for anything more if you're Herman Edwards as far as the time of possession is concerned, but they're down by 7, and this is where they've got to get 7 if they're going to hang in this half. Second and goal from the 6. Testaverde's pass, and it is caught for the touchdown, Anthony Becht. The second-year tight end and the #1 draft pick from West Virginia, but the bad news is that Vinny Testaverde is limping off the field.
Well, he had the Achilles problem 2 years ago. You just hope it has nothing to do with that. You watch here, Anthony Becht right there. He's just going to go up the field and turn around. Vinny finds him and gets him the football.
Yeah, I think actually the injury, watch Leonard Little land and trap that back ankle. Hopefully that's just an ankle sprain. As you pointed out, Troy, nothing to do with that Achilles tendon.
So Testaverde still has yet to throw an interception, gets the touchdown pass to Becht. And now John Hall on to try to tie this one up, and he does. And the Jets, despite some penalties and going back a few yards, get the touchdown. Testaverde to Becht, and we're all tied at 7. The Jets tying the game with the Rams 7-7 with 4:51 remaining in the second quarter, and it was Craig Yeast's 50-yard kickoff return that ignited the Jets, who went 8 plays on 47 yards to tie the game at 7. John Hall will kick it off for the Jets. Dre Bly and Yo Murphy are back deep. This is Dre Bly, 8 yards in the end zone. And the Rams will start from the 20 when we come back to the Meadowlands.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by Stride Guard insoles. Take more impact than Stride.
Vinny Testaverde's all right. He had his leg rolled up on him. He is fine, but not Shane Burton, who has one of the 2 Jets sacks from the defensive line. He is out with a calf injury and will not return. Rams at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, 7-7. Thus far, a surprisingly low-scoring affair. James Reed, rookie from Iowa State, replacing Burton up front for the Jets. Here's Candidate, and he gets a couple.
Well, another guy we want to keep our eye on is Wayne Corbett. He's taken 2 big hits. You can hear that one right there, and he was a little woozy coming after that catch.
Yeah, and then he comes down here, and Grant Wistrom puts a hit on him right here. You can see he's down.
Remember, he suffered a concussion against Miami last week, did not practice on Wednesday, had headaches. But he was in the full workout mode on Friday when we watched him at Hempstead, Long Island. 2nd down and 8 for the Rams. Play action pass, and it's tipped away, intended for Isaac Bruce, and it's Aaron Glenn, who earlier in the game recovered a Ram fumble, and that will bring up 3rd and long for Kurt Warner.
Yeah, sometimes you get so used, Kurt Warner gets so used to guys being wide open for him and being able to get him the football that in that particular situation, Aaron Glenn was all over Isaac Bruce. There was really nowhere to throw the football, and Kurt forced that one. He was lucky that it was not intercepted.
Isaac Bruce yet to catch a pass today. 3rd and 8. Kurt Warner getting some time, and this pass caught by Bruce. So Isaac Bruce finally making a reception, and Warner had all day a pickup of 22.
Well, that's where it all starts, is you got to have protection up front, something he did not have much of last week. He's able to sit in the pocket. He's got Isaac Bruce working up the field. He's going to start inside. He's going to come back outside on a corner route, and he catches it right in behind Ray Mickens.
So the Rams advance the ball to their 44-yard line, under 3.5 to play in the 1st half. And here is Oz-Hakeem on the handoff. Oz-Hakeem with the 1st down, and he pitches it to Trump Candidate, and he will score. No flags are down. Well, it's the option play. Remember that from Oklahoma, Troy?
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Martz told us before the game he's going to do what he does. I've never seen that play before in the playbook.
I cannot tell you how impressive that is for Trunk Candidate to stay in pitch relationship with Oz-Hakeem. I mean, he never varies. He stays right there, and you can see he's looking for him the whole time.
Here's a look. Oz is looking to get him the football. He finally deals it off. Trunk Candidate running in and out of traffic to keep pitch relationship with him. I know about pitch relationship playing at Oklahoma in the wishbone. It's just an outstanding football play.
Jeff Wilkins with the extra point, and the Rams, going into their bag of tricks, have taken a 14-7 lead over the Jets. That was a 56-yard play, and for Candidate, that is his 2nd touchdown in as many weeks, 3rd of the season, and getting the low 5s and the high 5s and the pat on the hands and heads from his teammates. Remember, filling in his 1st NFL start for the injured Marshall Faulk.
It's kind of like they stole the little play from the Jets. This was very similar. He breaks inside, but Oz-Hakeem, it's so right there you can see he's looking, and you can't see Trung right now as he comes into your pitcher, not only staying in relationship, but being able to pitch the ball backwards so it's not a forward lateral. You would think these guys both came from a wishbone school.
But do you think that Oz-Hakeem, he knows he did a good job right there. I bet the coach told him all week long when they were practicing on this thing, hey, trust me, it'll be a touchdown. And Oz-Hakeem showing right there that it in fact was. I'm wondering what Marshall Faulk is thinking right now. I'm wondering if he's thinking, how come How come he hasn't got to run that play and catch the pitch?
Well, that's the reason why you transferred to UCLA, isn't it?
To run the option?
No, not to run the option.
That's exactly right.
Officially, it'll go into the books as a 44-yard touchdown run by Trung Candidate after the pitch. So the Rams all smiles, is well deserved. And there is Marshall Faulk saying, put that in the book next week.
He's
if I
saying,
come
where
back.
has that been?
Well, you wonder if the coaches on the sideline are like, Oz, no, don't pitch it, don't pitch it. Oh, great pitch, great pitch.
So 3:11 remaining in the second quarter. The Rams up again. This time 14-7. Line drive kick into the end zone, and Craig Yeast will not run it out. And the Jets will go to the 20-yard line. Well, coming up next in the big second half of our Fox doubleheader, Culpepper and Favre, Vikings, Packers, and how long have they been going at it in the NFC Central?
Well, it's such a great matchup between those two football teams, and because of the level of play of these two quarterbacks, it's just become even a bigger rivalry over the years.
Becomes a pretty critical game for the Minnesota Vikings to gain some ground in that NFC Central right there. They can't lose that head-to-head battle.
And the Green Bay Packers trying to do something they don't do that often, win in the Metrodome. First down on the 20 for the Jets. Trailing by a touchdown. The pitch is to Curtis Martin. And Martin is hit by London Fletcher, maybe a yard on the play. Well, we've been chronicling Wayne Krebet, who got hit twice. He is woozy. That's the report from the Jets sideline, and is out for this series at least.
Yeah, and that's the head trainer right there that he's talking with, and so you can tell that there's something not quite right with Wayne. He said he was fine after last week's hit, and then when he started practicing on Wednesday, he started experiencing some headaches, and he may be experiencing some of those headaches right now.
Kevin Swain, an undrafted rookie, number 82, is in at wide receiver for the Jets, and this pass is picked off by Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams with a lineman to beat, and now Testaverde to beat, and he beats them all. Touchdown for the Rams. 42-yard return, and so Vinny Testaverde's string of not throwing an interception. He had been the only starting quarterback not to throw a pick, ends in 176 attempts, and it really burns as Williams runs it in 42 yards for the touchdown.
Well, they're trying to get the ball to Richie Anderson. He's going to run up. They're running three verticals on this one side. Vinny just overthrows him. Not a real good decision. And here's Vinny trying to make a tackle. He tried doing this earlier in the season and was unable to. And one thing Vinny is not is a tackler.
We saw that in the opening game against Indianapolis. And so for Aeneas Williams, talk about a new life, going from the downtrodden Arizona Cardinals to a team that is undefeated and a lot of people think will make the Super Bowl. This perennial All-Pro makes his 47th interception, giving the Rams a 21-7 lead.
Well, and I'll tell you what, this guy right here, Aeneas Williams, he is such a special football player, and I had an opportunity to compete against him for 12 years when he was playing for the Arizona Cardinals, and I always felt that he was the most complete corner in football. Deion Sanders, a tremendous cover guy, but Aeneas Williams, not only a great cover guy, but also a guy who would get up there and play the run. And he's come here to St. Louis, and you could tell the impact that he's made on this football team, not only in his play, but he was voted as a captain of this football team, and you just don't see guys come in their first year and get voted as captains.
And he was one of the guys that Lovie Smith, talking about being able to go out and hand pick a football player to bring in. When he had the opportunity to get a guy, not only as you're pointing out the good things he does in the locker room, but then the ability on the football field, he was just totally surprised that he was going to have a chance to get Aeneas Williams and bring him into the St. Louis Rams football team.
And he was stunned when you told him that he was the best all-around cornerback. Came back out of the room, come back to shake your hand and thank you again. Craig Yeast from the 5-yard line. He's already had a 50-yard kickoff return today, and this isn't bad as he brings it out to the 38. Kim Herring making the tackle. So the Rams pick up 14 points in 55 seconds. That's fast break football.
Well, and that's their whole style, is they want to attack. There's no question, and there's no You talk about Mike Martz and what he tries to do offensively and his whole approach. They're not a team that runs the football a lot, and a lot of coaches would say that that's very unconventional. But where he provides his balance is by dispersing the football to a lot of different people, and that is how he creates his balance offensively.
Near the 2-minute warning for this half. First down, Jets on the 37, and going up on top for the rookie Swain, and the pass thrown out of bounds. And 1:59 on the clock. 2-minute warning here at the Meadowlands, and the Rams leading by 2 touchdowns. Mike Martz trying to lead his Rams to their 6th victory in a row. Only one other team in NFL history has started off 6-0 for 3 straight years. You have to go back to Curly Lambeau and the Green Bay Packers back in 1929 when Moose was a freshman at Syracuse.
I got some gray hair, but I'm not that old, Jake.
2nd and 10 at the 37. 2-minute warning. Jets have 2 timeouts remaining. Testaverde behind Richie Anderson, who makes a fancy one-handed grab, gets 5 yards as we check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, you know, Wayne Grabet's known for his toughness, and he's still trying to get back in the ball game. Trainers finally convinced him to go ahead and go in the locker room for an evaluation. That's where he is now, and that's where he's going to stay. We'll update you in the second half. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. A 1-yard pickup to Richie Anderson again.
And Dick, that was a big 3rd down right there, and now they're going to give the ball back to the St. Louis Rams with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for an offense of this ability to get back down the field and get points.
With 1:33 to go, the Rams calling the timeout, sensing they'll get it back. While we have a moment, want to remind you that coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats.
It's funny how we were just talking a few minutes ago how the game is really unfolding just the way the Jets wanted it to. It's 7-7. They've moved the ball, and now all of a sudden, as Troy pointed out, the fact that boom, it changes that quick, and now here's an opportunity with 1 minute and 33 left for them to get the ball back and maybe go up 28-7 at half when just a few minutes ago everything looked great for them.
Well, you make a mistake, and this team will burn you as Tom Tupa prepares to punt to Oz Hakeem. Fair catch signaled at the 15. Well, when you talk about leaders on offense, you've got to look at the Rams first. Kurt Warner, 9 of 12 for 127 yards in the touchdown pass to Oz Hakeem, who is the leading receiver, and Trung Candidate, who has 94 yards rushing already. 44 of those coming on the pitch from Hakeem on the option play downfield that resulted in the 2nd Rams touchdown.
Well, I think any questions there may be of whether or not Trung Candidate can carry the load. He's no Marshall Faulk, there's no question, but certainly an effective back and a guy who's going to keep this offense rolling.
How about that for depth, having Faulk and Candidate from the 15-yard line, and the handoff is to Trung Candidate, and bursts out and gives the Rams a 1st down. At the 27-yard line, Ray Mickens making the tackle. The clock continues to run. The Rams have 2 timeouts left.
Well, he is an explosive runner, and a guy whose running style you might think would struggle on this slick turf today, but he's been the one guy that really has his feet underneath him and hasn't really been affected so far.
The 3 ace wide receivers are out there. Pump fake by Warner, and this pass incomplete. It was overthrown. The intended receiver, Ernie Conwell, and Victor Green diving for the pick, which wasn't there.
Well, the one thing about it is if you give a quarterback this kind of time and put him in a 2-minute offense, in particular a team like this with the St. Louis Rams and the weapons that they have, this secondary for the New York Jets, they are on their heels, and they don't want anybody running by them. They're just trying to get out of this half without giving up anything big.
2nd and 10 at the 27. Warner going underneath to Torrey Holt, and he is stopped at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5 as the clock continues to run. At least the Rams would like to get it into field goal range for Jeff Wilkins, who is yet to miss this year.
Well, they've got 2 timeouts, Dick, and they're letting the clock run. We're at 30 seconds right now. they may be content not getting any points.
Rams 5 of 6, including their last 5 third-down conversions. Warner, first down. Hakeem trying to stop the clock and go out of bounds and cannot do it. The clock continues to run. And now the timeout comes by the Rams with 12 on the shot clock. Well, tonight the league championship series continues at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Most of you will see the Mariners and the Yankees. Yankees lead 2-1 in that series. It's game 4 of the ALCS. That'll be right here on Fox. You can catch the Diamondbacks battle the Braves in game 5 of the NLCS over on Fox Sports Net. Arizona 1 game away from getting into the World Series. Check your local listings for the game and channel in your area. Talk about home field advantage. That hasn't been the case in the LCS in either league thus far.
Interesting to see a team that, no sense of urgency up until this point, with 12 seconds left, and all of a sudden they want to take the timeout when the guy gets tackled in bounds. If you're going to save the time, save it before that play.
Here is Hakeem, and he is tackled at the 35. Loss of 3 yards, and the Rams are going to let the clock run out.
That surprises me a little bit that they weren't a little bit more aggressive going after him and trying to get points, but 21-7 lead they're happy with.
They'll take it. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Rams 21 and the Jets 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Thank you very much, TV, as we welcome you back to the Visa Halftime here with the full house. Those of you watching St. Louis and the Jets. Trunk candidate point, outstanding first half.
Uh-oh, Wally Pip could it be as you watch Marshall Faulk not playing in this game. Play action, hold that linebacker, squeeze it into Hakeem. There it is. And you see the Rams are up. Back come the Jets. Beautiful job from Testaverde to Anthony.
That counts as 3.
Hakeem takes this reverse, then options to Canada. He takes it in. Give 12 yards to Hakeem. Give 44 to Canada on that touchdown.
What does that add up to?
That's a bunch. Then back come the Jets again. Aeneas Williams there in the middle of the football field. You heard Troy Aikman say this is the best overall cornerback in the NFL that he played against. Here's why, folks. Not only did he intercept it, took it in for a touchdown. Boy, my Rams are looking awfully good. 21-7 over the Jets.
Meanwhile, in Nolans.
Yes, sir, Ricky. How you doing, bud? Warm that arm up. But it's the legs that we need. Chandler, play action. Get the safeties out of the middle. Get that rookie tight end down the middle. That's Algie Crumpler. Remember that name, folks. That's a 57-yard touchdown. And here come the Falcons. But back come my Saints and my guy, Aaron Brooks, guns it to Cam Cleveland. Touchdown pass. Got a ball game down in my hometown. 10-10 Falcons and the Saints.
How many
That's right.
teams do you have?
I got a bunch of them.
No question.
And
what about this one?
This is my coach, Marty Schottenheimer. Love you, babe. Don't worry about what they're saying up there. LeVar Arrington had to leave this football game due to a head injury, and later on he did come back, folks. Chris Winkie, the young rookie quarterback out of Florida State, finds his tight end, Wesley Walls. Play action, get him out in the flat. 7-0 Panthers over the Redskins. Don't lose hope, JB. Let's go to Cincinnati, where there is lots of hope this year. Awfully impressive, these two football teams. John Kitna fumbles the snap, recovers the snap, fires this football. It's intercepted, taken down the right sideline. Well, watch this Bear rookie running back out of Michigan. A-Train, Anthony Thomas on a draw. 46 yards. That set up a 1-yard touchdown pass from Miller to Baxter. And the Bears, awfully impressive, on the road, 10-0 over the powerhouse Cincinnati Bengals. 7-3 Steelers over the Buccaneers. Not a good game.
Detroit now on top, 7-6. Lions there. Is that extra point good there? They got the screen blocked there. I'll let you know that in a second. Browns on top, 10-6 over the Ravens. You might want to send the tape for that. If you're a Ravens fan, you enjoy it. If you're a Browns fan, Coach, what's the deal against the Patriots?
I don't know.
Wow. David Patton has a big game there.
I happen
That's
to have
very, very strong
Get the
insight.
big bucks right there.
Hey, Chris, get on this case. Don't let him slide. That was awfully good insight there.
28-3.
Oh, no.
St. Louis in the Jets
Chris. You know, don't forget, last week the Jets were down 17-0 at halftime, came all the way back against the Dolphins. But there's a kid for the St. Louis Rams I think makes an incredible difference. Talk about Aeneas Williams, what a great player he is. I watched Adam Archuleta, their strong safety, a rookie out there. This kid is phenomenal. Rookie of the year so far in my book, Adam Archuleta.
Where'd he go to college?
At university.
Villanova.
No, he didn't.
Hey, if you don't know it, I'm claiming them. Charlie Army and Jay Zigman have done a great job in that front office for the Rams, bringing in 8 new starters on defense. Lovie Smith done an outstanding job putting it all together. You know, you talk about the Rams, you don't just talk about the offense anymore, but you get the feeling with this Rams offense, no matter what the players, they could go the distance at any time. And that designed option reverse was phenomenal.
I don't think I do not think it was a design.
You don't think it was designed?
I thought it was awfully heads
up football. You think they just drew that up in the dirt?
Just a second. You have not watched any of their secondary work for the Rams.
He was picking
and you're
on
jumping
you,
all
and now
over
you got to
Aeneas
come back to
Williams.
me?
You have no clue what you're talking about.
Between us.
Yeah, you can't.
As they continue to talk about that, let me tell you that Detroit did make the point after the Lions do lead it by the score of 7-6 over Tennessee. And with that in mind, while they continue to chat, we'll let you know that the Visa halftime will continue right after these messages.
I fired you. I can hire you. No, I hired you.
Rams lead the Jets at half, 21-7. It's been a beautiful day so far for Trung Candidate.
It's a beautiful day.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter with the Rams leading the Jets 21-7. And right now, let's go down to Pam Oliver, who is with Marshall Faulk. Pam.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dick. Marshall, here's a switch. The defense helping the offense out. What do you think they need to do in the second half to get it going?
They got to go out there and play well. I mean, the Jets are pretty familiar with what our defense does. Herm Edwards and Lovie Smith, they both came from Tampa with Tony Dungy. So they got to go out there, make plays, and get takeaways.
I know it's killing you to be out of this, but Trung, 136 total yards in this one. He's doing a good job for them today.
He's doing a good job. I'm just trying to keep him focused and, you know, keep his mind on the game and thinking about the things that he needs to do because in this offense, the H-back, we got a lot of responsibilities.
And for the record, that option play was a design play.
Design play. We work on it every week.
I know you're jealous. Thanks a lot.
Very much indeed.
All right, one other note about the Jets. Herm Edwards said, you know, the biggest thing for us, we've got to get off the field on third down. And Wayne Corbett, who went into the locker room early, he's out here, but he is not going to play in the second half. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And Marshall Faulk hopes to play next week in the big divisional game that the Rams have against the New Orleans Saints. And, well, last week the Jets came back from 17-0 deficit, but these aren't the Dolphins out there. These are the Rams.
Well, the biggest thing for them is that they have allowed over 80% conversions for the St. Louis Rams offense. And on the other hand, the Jets offense has yet to convert a third down.
And it's interesting to hear Marshall Faulk talk about how much support he's got on that sideline for Trung Candidate. Not a better feeling in the world than a young guy having your first chance to go out and have some extended playing time and to have that guy right there letting you know his insights into the position.
He was a big factor in the latter stages of last week's game. The Giants had punished the Rams in St. Louis, and Candidate getting an advantage on the pass interference call and then scoring the winning touchdown, and now going over the 100-yard mark. The 44-yard run following the pitch by Azakim, the big play. Second half kickoff. Dre Bly running it out 5 yards from the end zone. And decked on the 13-yard line by Jamie Henderson, a big tackle. As we take a look at the halftime statistics.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, just, you know, the third down conversions is the biggest thing right here. You look what the Rams have done, 6 of 7, and then the Jets, they have yet to convert one. And to me, the game comes down to third downs. The team that's able to convert them, they keep the clock. It gives them more plays, more opportunities to score points. And the team that doesn't, they don't get those opportunities.
Rams with a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Delay handoff to Candidate, and he gets nearly 8 yards on 1st down. Let's take a look at what Kurt Warner has done today as far as passing by distance.
Well, you look where he's been most effective, and it's really been 29 yards and less, and he's 0 for 1 at 30 to 39 yards, but he's not taking any shots over 40 yards, which for a Mike Martz coached offensive football team, that's extremely unusual.
2nd down and 2. Throwing on 2nd down, and there is James Hodgins, the fullback. He'll get the 1st down on a crossing pattern out of the backfield, and tackled at the 30 by James Farrier, a pickup of 7.
You know, James Hodgins just coming out on a flat route. They're able to get the ball into his quick. He's not a guy that they really involve in the offense from a running or receiving standpoint. In fact, Moose, he's probably the only guy that I know who gets the ball less than what you did as a player.
Well, you know, this is actually, that's I don't know who put that one in. He's actually 270. That 230, that is not true. And I tell you what, yeah, he doesn't get involved in the game a lot, but when he's in there blocking, he's bringing a whole bunch of power.
Moose can identify with James Hodgins. Here is Kurt Warner, and the pass caught by Ricky Prohl, and Prohl with a 1st down at the 45-yard line. That was a 15-yard pickup for the Rams.
One of the concerns coming in was Rod Jones and how he was going to match with the speed of John Abraham, and you haven't heard Rod's name called very often today. You see right there, he's doing a good job. And now Ricky Prohl, he's the veteran of this receiving group. You know, they all got their little specialties, and when there's a question that needs to be answered, they go to the Papa Smurf, Ricky Prohl.
1st down at the 45-yard line of the Rams. Hand off to Candidate. Tron Candidate. Tell you what, the grass surface not bothering the 2nd-year running back from Arizona. He picks up 18 yards into Jet territory.
No, that was one of the things that, as we mentioned, that Mike Martz was most concerned about, was how well Tron Candidate would be able to run on this surface, but he has had no problems whatsoever. In fact, he's been very shifty, and he's been able to make some great cuts and get down the field. And this Rams offensive line right now is really doing a good job of moving people out and creating lanes and creating space for Tron Candidate to get in there.
He's got 132 yards, and we're still early in this 3rd quarter. And there is the fake pitch and the pass to Azakim. Talk about make you miss. Azakim, after all of that, picking up only 3 yards on the play, going out of bounds.
That's got to be frustrating as a defender to have Azakim right in your sights and just grabbing handfuls of air. Two guys just, you know, good position, had good leverage to make the tackle, and boy, he can change direction unbelievably. I mean, James Farrier's got him right there. He's got him. He gets a handful of air, and here comes Victor Green and Marcus Coleman, and unbelievable how he can shift directions and just burst so quickly.
2nd down, 7 to go at the 34 of the Jets. On the delay, Candidate gets blocking and brings it up to the 29-yard line. James Farrier on the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Rams, who are content to use the time. Look at Candidate in his 1st NFL start thus far.
Well, it's an impressive day, and the Jets were talking about wanting to bring pressure in order to get to Kurt Warner. Right now, they're bringing pressure to try to get to Tron Candidate.
As if they needed another weapon. And a fake to Isaac Bruce on the end around, and the pass knocked down. Good play that time by Coleman on the pass intended for Torrey Holt.
And you called it, Dick. That is a nice play by Marcus Coleman, being able to keep up with him stride for stride and knock that ball down. And those are the kind of plays that you just have to have. Here's Marcus Coleman not allowing the catch, and those are the plays that you got to have on 3rd downs to keep this football team from continuing to move and get into touchdown range.
So a field goal attempt from 47 yards out for Jeff Wilkins. He's made 28 in a row, and this one is good. 29 straight field goals for Jeff Wilkins, and he adds 3 to the Rams total, and the St. Louis Rams now in front of the New York Jets 24-7.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Back here at the Meadowlands, Dick Stockton, Troy Aikman, Moose Johnston, Pam Oliver with you as the St. Louis Rams have opened up a 24-7 lead over the New York Jets. That is Craig Yeast, who has a 50-yard kickoff return already today. This kick by Wilkins deep into the end zone, and Yeast will down it for a touchback. Rams looking for their 6th straight win to start the season. They are undefeated on the road at 3-0 coming into this game, where the Jets, there's a lot of love there between Kurt Warner and Trung Candidate. No question about it. Where the Jets have struggled at home, they've lost 2 games already here against prolific scoring teams in the Colts and the 49ers, and it could be 3 with the Rams. Signals fly, 1st and 10 from the 20. Pass up the middle to Anthony Becht, who caught the only touchdown pass today for the Jets. Let's listen to Vinny at the line.
Now you hear him audible, and the defense is smart enough that they completely change what they're going to try to do defensively in those situations also.
So it's 2nd down and 2, and here is Curtis Martin. Martin does not get the 1st down, does not get a yard on the play. And it brings up 3rd down for the Jets.
I mean, you talk about that last play when Vinny Testaverde was audible in, and Adam Archuleta, their rookie safety, was a linebacker in college, and on that particular play, he was lined up over the slot receiver. As soon as Vinny started to audible, he then dropped back, and they went back to a 2-deep coverage, completely changed their coverage look. And he's a guy who, he's taken the place of a Todd Lynch with Tampa Bay. That's the role that he's playing within this style of defense.
3rd down and 2 at the 28-yard line, and they're not going to get it on this play. Curtis Martin is stopped, so the Rams defense, and you didn't see anything like that last year from the St. Louis Rams, where they felt they had to score 42 points to win a game. Now they don't need that much, and the defense gets the job done, forcing the Jets to punt.
And I really think that game last week against the Giants really helped this team out in many ways, more than just the victory. The fact that the defense was able to win the game when the offense didn't have a great day. And Lovie Smith, the guy that was brought in, establishing that Tampa Bay style defense. And these guys have bought into this system and are executing it extremely well for their 1st year.
Tom Tupa's punt back to the 20 on Zakeen is leveled at the 30-yard line. So it's been a defensive effort for the Rams. They have scored a touchdown on that side of the ball, and we will be right back. Lovie Smith, who was the linebacker coach at Tampa Bay for 5 years. Herman Edwards was the defensive secondary coach at Tampa Bay for 5 under Tony Dungy. So pretty good family tree going there. 1st and 10 at the 30 for the Rams. Here is Trung Candidate trying to go outside, showing his speed, and going hard out of bounds after picking up nearly 8. Damian Robinson and Marcus Coleman on the stop.
And Lovie Smith, he's been very excited because he was able to handpick his guys to come in and fill these spots. That has helped this defense improve their rankings from the year before. You see that improvement. And the 3 areas he wanted to look for, Damian Lewis, number 92, he's that 3 technique that you need, like Warren Sapp. Also Mark Fields, Adam Archuleta right there. He's the John Lynch safety in that Tampa Bay defense. The other guy, Mark Fields, he's Derek Brooks here in St. Louis.
2nd and 3, Candidate. And Troy was right. He got the call early and often today, and that is a 1st down for the Rams. Believe it or not, coming into this game, only 3 NFL teams have averaged fewer points on defense than the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, that just tells you how far that this defense has come. And you know, Mike Martz has said that they finally have a defense that plays like their offense. And what he means by that is a very fast defense. He wants fast football players at every position. And Lovie Smith wants those 11 guys defensively flying to the football.
1st and 10 for the Rams at the 42-yard line of St. Louis. Here's Kurt Warner with time, and he drills it complete to to Isaac Bruce and a first down into Jet territory. Imagine the Rams have the ball and we're talking about the Rams defense.
Yeah, just a great job there. One of Kurt Warner sitting in the pocket and throwing the football, and you watch Isaac Bruce and he runs a nice route. It's all built on speed, and this guy, it is not surprising why Isaac Bruce has been able to have the success in the National Football League that he's been able to have. There is nobody with a work ethic quite like this guy. He runs every play in practice just like he runs them out here on the game.
First and 10 at the 44 of the Jets. And there is Warner on a comeback screen to Trung Candidate. And Candidate is tackled, a shoe top tackle, 2 yards short of the first down by Damian Robinson. Interesting week for Damian Robinson, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, who was arrested last week. Very unfortunate, in the trunk of his car, possession of an assault rifle that was found there. He was fined $30,000 by the team. He was not suspended. What was interesting is that he was arrested and then he played the game before being arraigned after the game. And here he is again. 2nd and 2 at the 36. Play action on the draw. Here's the pass, caught at the 15 by Ricky Prohl, and the Rams get another first down.
Have you seen anybody in the NFL that throws the deep end better than this group of wide receivers with Kurt Warner?
I've not seen anything like it. You take a look at Kurt Warner, and you talk about a guy threading the needle right here. He's got Ricky Prohl, and there is literally nowhere to throw the football. James Ferrier just missing a potential interception, and just an outstanding throw and catch by Ricky Prohl. There's not many quarterbacks in this league that would even turn that ball loose, let alone complete it.
Let's look at Kurt Warner. 17 of 22, 211 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Another fake handoff. Warner being chased down and throws the ball away. Actually in the direction of Isaac Bruce, but Isaac Bruce wanted to help it along and pressure that time from Eric Obagu.
You talk about having the ability not only to turn the ball loose, but to complete it. And one of the things that Mike Martz talked to us was the trust that everybody has in this offense. They all know where they're going to be, and it's an individual component where the confidence level across the board of this offensive unit is unbelievable.
Well, and this system is one that I played in under Ernie Zampese and Norv Turner. And Ernie Zampese used to always tell the receivers, be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And that's the same philosophy that Mike Martz carries over to these wide receivers.
2nd and 10, the pitch to Candidate, trying to turn the corner, and he slips after picking up 4 yards on the play. 5 minutes and 22 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. The Rams leading 24-7, and Candidate testing his left hand as he comes out of the game, or goes back into the huddle, I should say, but he remains in there.
Well, and that's that would be a concern, obviously, with the injury. And here's a guy who missed most of his rookie season due to injury and wound up getting put on IR late. And you're hoping that he's going to be able to play.
And Kurt Warner is split to the outside. Direct snap to Trung Candidate, who's driving in and going in for the touchdown. When will the tricks end for Mike Martz, as Trung Candidate on a direct snap with Warner flanked out to where you marked it on our telestrator, goes straight up the middle for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Well, here's Kurt Warner right here. He splits out wide, and you got Trung Candidate back here in the backfield. They feed him the ball in the shotgun formation. He just runs like a quarterback draw, running back draw, up the middle for the touchdown.
I didn't see anybody covering Kurt out there. Where's the respect?
Yep, another weapon for the Rams. That's all opposing defenses wanted to hear, as Wilkins' extra point is good, and the Rams lead 31-7, and they are putting on a show today. Here's Kurt Warner. He got a good view of Candidate's touchdown run up the middle. We'll be back. It has been a workout for the Jets defense to the tune of 31-7, and there is a onside kick that works. An onside kick. You're up 31-7 on the road. Dre Bly makes the recovery, They must be looking for a BCS ranking or something in college football. They want to get to that Rose Bowl, don't they, Troy?
I don't know what I don't know what Mike Martz is thinking, and you know, that's his approach. He wants to go after the jugular each and every time that he can. The fans here certainly didn't appreciate that call at all.
He wants a higher ranking. I'm convinced of it. We'll be back. Well, here's a guy who's enjoying things. What about this onside kick with the 31-7 lead? How do you figure it?
You know, I don't know that I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like it. Jimmy Johnson used to do some things somewhat like that, but not with a 31-7 lead.
First down, and Trunk Candidate, who has gained 166 yards, now has 170. Let's go back to pregame warm-ups where Herm Edwards was talking to his defensive unit.
It's time today, isn't it? Huh? You think it's time today? I think so. First thing we got to do, you know what we got to do? Make sure they don't start running the ball on us. Just don't lose sight of that. You know what I'm saying? Don't lose sight. Let's stop the run, then we'll go get it. Then we'll go get it. We'll go get it.
Well, unfortunately, they lost sight of stopping the run. The only thing they've seen is the back of Trunk Candidate's jersey all day.
Incomplete to Hodgins, bringing up third down and 6. What a debut. Over 200 total yards for Trunk Candidate.
Well, he's been spectacular, and they talked about how they were going to get him involved early in many different ways, throwing him the football and letting him run the football. We didn't know they were going to toss him the football on the pitch down the field, but he certainly has answered the call.
And I say, what a debut as a starter. He now has scored 4 touchdowns on the season. Kurt Warner is going down, and that was John Abraham, and a flag down at midfield. That was a loss of 15 yards pending the flag. Illegal use of the hands called against the Jets.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 24, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Okay, Ray Mickens, let's see.
Well, there's Ray Mickens, a corner. He's on Oz Akeem. I don't know. They got a 5-yard window there where they can get their hands on him. I don't know about that one, but I can promise you with an onside kick that Herman Edwards is going to be sending people and trying to hit Kurt Warner.
He already sent Abraham on the last play. First down at the midfield stripe. Trunk Candidate picking up about 3 with 3:40 remaining. Tampa Bay getting beaten by the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-3.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Here's Orlando Pace. He's moved over to play tight end, the tackle eligible. And one of the things that John Abraham has to get used to is playing against the run in a situation where you've got a big physical lineman, and not many more bigger or physical than Orlando Pace.
Back in his normal position, 2nd and 7. And there is Candidate handing off to Bruce, turning the corner. And Bruce picking up about 3 yards on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 3 for the Rams with 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, we have a new schedule alignment next year when Houston comes into the league, as we want to tell you about the Packers and Vikings coming up next in the second half of the doubleheader. So Mike Martz must figure he's not going to be playing the Jets in the interconference for at least 3 years or so, huh?
Well, I'll be curious to hear his comments following this ball game. And I know that in the NFL, you know, no game is ever over, and you got to try to score as much as you can. But I'll be curious to hear what he was thinking on that onside kick and what the reasoning was behind that.
He could leave it into the hands of his defense. They're doing pretty well. 3rd and 3, Candidate, first down inside the 40. Steve Martin on the tackle.
I've really been impressed with the patience that Trung has when he's running the football, and for a young guy getting his first start and a lot of the attention focused on you in this game, you have a tendency to press things and to be a little bit more aggressive. And he's done a tremendous job today of being very patient, stretching the defense, letting the blocks develop, and then really hitting the holes that the offensive line has created for him.
Well, another thing, too, is coming into this game, they were passing the ball 62% of the time, and today it's pretty much 50-50.
181 yards for Candidate. Warner's going to air this one out, and he's got Torrey Holt, but he overthrows him in the end zone.
Well, they're definitely not holding anything back right now.
I got that impression a bit earlier, and that's true. Here's
in a situation, the onside kick, and now we're going to Torrey Holt deep down the field in the corner of the end zone, and there's, say what you want, but this is an aggressive football team, and they're just playing their style of football, and it doesn't matter if it's 31-7 or 7-7. They're going to play the same way.
2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line. Here's a little push.
Encroachment defense. Number 91, 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty on Steve Martin. Well, backing up your play selection, Troy, 22 and 41 rush to pass. A lot more even today.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it goes back. One, the Jets have had trouble stopping the run. And then two, I believe that Mike Martz really wanted to do everything he could to get Trung Candidate involved in this game, and not only involved, but he wanted to see them have success. He felt that was going to be very important for this young player.
2nd and 5 on the slant. Oz Hakeem, first down for the Rams at the 22-yard line. And of course, we're not necessarily looking on with disdain at the tricks that the Rams are trying. Well, we don't know how the Jets feel, but the old story, you got to stop us. If you're good enough, stop us. And maybe that's how the Jets are looking at it right now.
Well, there's no question about that, that if the Jets, if they don't like what's going on, then obviously they have to come up with a way to try to stop these Rams, and that's always been the question, and that's always been the problem. That's not easy to do.
First down for the Rams. Candidate for 4 yards. Well, coming into this game in the AFC East, the Jets in a big game for them. Tied with the Miami Dolphins, the team they beat last week. Indianapolis disappointing at 2-2.
Yeah, this division is still up for grabs right now in the early part of the season. Nobody has really asserted themselves as a favorite. The Miami Dolphins jumping out to that 17-point lead last week versus the Jets, only to lose 21-17. So, this is kind of a game where the Jets could have gone into the NFC, played a top team, and unfortunately for them, things have not worked out up until this point this afternoon.
And New England's beating Indianapolis again. Here is Candidate, and leaping over a defender, getting another first down to the 10-yard line. So add 8 more yards to Trung Candidate's total. And the final seconds being ticked off as Trung Candidate has 192 yards going into the 4th quarter. It's the Rams 31, the Jets 7. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
We begin the 4th quarter here at the Meadowlands. After a scoreless first quarter, the St. Louis Rams have outscored the Jets 31-7. Kurt Warner with a touchdown pass to Oz Hakeem. Oz Hakeem with a pitch to Trung Candidate, who ran 44 yards for a touchdown. Candidate on a direct snap ran 12 yards for a score. And the lone Jet tally, Vinny Testaverde hitting his tight end Anthony Beck in the 2nd quarter, at that time tying it up at 7-7. So 24 unanswered points. As you look at Kurt Warner's numbers thus far, he has had 4 300-yard games this year. And it is a 1st and goal at the 10. Start of the 4th quarter. Candidate gets a yard and a half. Well, I guess everyone who would asking why would the Rams, who had Marshall Faulk draft on the first round another running back and Trunk candidate a couple of years ago, and he has answered that question.
Well, there's no question about that. And I think at the time when they drafted Trunk candidate, they were just a little bit concerned about Marshall's overall health. They wanted to be able to do some things with that position, and they drafted a guy, and it was a great pickup for them. I envision them being able to use both those guys when Marshall's healthy in the backfield together.
Second down and goal from the 9. And the pitch to candidate, cutting inside and trying to reverse. James Reed making the stop after a gain of 2.
And the guy that the leader of this offense that's called the greatest show on earth, Kurt Warner. Troy mentioned at the top the fact that he spreads the ball around and he keeps everybody involved in the football game. And just everybody has an opportunity to make plays in this offense, and to me that's very, very important because it keeps everybody focused. We've talked about the trust factor within this group. When everybody's involved, that gives them more incentive to go out there and perform at this high level that is expected from this team.
Third and goal from the 7. They sprint it out, and the pass tipped away, incomplete, and a flag goes down. Oz Hakeem was defended by Victor Green.
Tripping offense, number 61. Pass interference, defense, number 21. Penalties offset. Repeat, third down.
So Tom Newton guilty of tripping, and Oz Hakeem shaken up in the end zone. Offsetting penalties.
Looks like he's just trying to stretch right there, so hopefully this is just a situation where he's cramping up on an unseasonably warm day here at Giant Stadium.
So Oz Hakeem walking off under his own power. Third and goal at the 7. They'll replay the down after the offsetting penalties. Ricky Prohl, his family are familiar with this stadium, as we heard from John Madden last week. In the Rams-Giants game, they have had season tickets for Giant games here, but now it's the Jets that have the home field today.
Yeah, and Ricky Prohl, of all the players that they have on this football team, receivers, Ricky Prohl, he's the one who's regarded as the real leader of this wide receiver group.
Third and goal at the 7. Wide receivers out to the right for Kurt Warner, whose pass is in the hands and out of Ricky Prohl, and Prohl upset with himself because he had that touchdown grab.
Yeah, he slipped, but he still had a chance to catch that for a touchdown. And you take a look, Kurt Warner delivering really a nice ball where only he can catch it, and Prohl falls down, a low ball right into his chest, and Ricky Prohl knows he should have caught that one for a touchdown.
So Jeff Wilkins is aboard to attempt a field goal. He connected from 47 yards out, this from 24. And the kick is good. Jeff Wilkins has yet to miss a field goal or an extra point, as the Rams now lead it 34-7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By The One, a new film from Revolution Studios, opens November 2nd. By Prestone, the #1 name in antifreeze, provides the tough defense your engine needs to combat cold weather. And by Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular.
34-7. What do you think, Moose? Another onside kick here? This one goes deep. Actually, it's short, end over end. Craig Yeast at the 9-yard line, returning for the Jets, and dragged down at the 20 by Justin Watson. We're early in the 4th quarter, and the Jets will have a new quarterback, Chad Pennington, when we come back. Well, tonight the league championship series continues at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Most of you will see the Mariners and the Yankees square off in Game 4 of the ALCS right here on Fox. Yanks lead 2-1. You can catch the Diamondbacks up 3-1 on the Braves. Game 5 of the NLCS over on Fox Sports Net. Chad Pennington in his second season.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 69, 5-yard
And the
penalty,
Jets
remains first down.
called for a 5-yard penalty. Pennington, one of 3 first-round draft picks by the Jets last year out of Marshall, and a quarterback who has a lot of promise.
Yeah, he really does. In fact, I was talking to him before the game today and was asking him if he was ready for his opportunity to play. And he said it's been nice just watching Vinny and learning from him in this new West Coast offense, and little did he know he'd be playing here in the fourth quarter.
Numbers of his 2-year career. The handoff is to Lamont Jordan, and Lamont Jordan with a great hit on Kim Herring, the rookie from Maryland, who the Jets selected on the second round, gets 16 yards on the first and long.
In a similar situation to the Rams taking trunk candidate in the draft with a guy like Marshall Faulk. Also, Lamont Jordan, a guy with Curtis Martin here, is the Jets' featured running back, but a pick that a lot of people were really happy about, because you look at the number of carries that Curtis Martin has had over the last few years, and you wonder how long he can continue to play at that level and stay that durable.
First and 10 at the 32, and Pennington swings it out to Lamont Jordan, who was hit by London Fletcher. Loss of 7 on the play.
Well, you can see the Jets are putting in some of their replacement players, and you got London Fletcher. He's going to be right here. He's working the middle of the field. He's going to read this swing pass right away. Chad Pennington doesn't see London working over there. No chance for a gain on that play.
Second down and 17. Chad Pennington. That was the first down. The one before to Jordan in the last 22+ minutes. Lamont Jordan, no gain. And right now for a game break, let's check in to James Brown in LA. JB.
Hey, Dick, the Falcons have blown 2 fourth-quarter leads this year, trying to right the ship. Great play action by Chandler, hooking up with Sean Jefferson, 39 yards. Jefferson tries the super dome leap up a little too high. 17-10 Falcons over the Saints in the fourth. Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
That wall's a little bit too high, and don't forget the Saints have to play the Rams next week in St. Louis.
That should be an outstanding football game.
Third and 18. 4 wide receivers for Chad Pennington. Pennington is going to run, and he will be stopped well short of the first down by Aeneas Williams. Ray Mickens on the sideline, and it's a day of consoling for the New York Jets, who had high hopes coming into this game against the tough Rams, hoping they could at least do what the Giants did, really give them a big challenge, not to be.
Well, you know, unfortunately things haven't worked out for him, but for Jets fans, you know, having the opportunity to talk to Herman Edwards yesterday, very excited about this opportunity, and I think there's some good things in store. This is a team installing a brand new offense and defense, so it's going to take a while for these guys to get into the rhythm of these new systems.
You're right. New head coach, new coordinators, new system. It takes a while. Pennington, and we'll see another young quarterback coming in, Jamie Martin, when he returns. 10:52 remaining in the game. Trunk candidate on the sidelines now after a brilliant starting debut in the NFL. 195 yards rushing, total 233, and 2 touchdowns, and he had the game-winning score last week as well. Jamie Martin is the new quarterback for the Rams, replacing Kurt Warner. Well-deserved day, and the handoff to Robert Holcomb. And Holcomb picking up about 8 or 9 yards on the play, and maybe closer to the first down yardage, and Damian Robinson on the stop.
And Robert Holcomb, he's got an interesting little story as well. He went and started playing some fullback. He put on 30 pounds, got up to about 250 pounds. This year they decided they want to put him back at the tailback position and let him get back to his natural spot, and he dropped the 30 pounds and is now playing at 225 and got his quickness back when he was able to do that, and runs very well.
First down at the 34 for the Rams, leading 34-7. The handoff to Holcomb, and he gets 5 yards. So look at Jamie Martin in his 7th year in the NFL, 4th with the Rams. Martin playing with Jacksonville last year. Started with the Rams and then well-traveled Washington, Cleveland. And Mike Martz wanted him as the backup here.
Well, they had Joe Germain in camp, and Martz really felt that Joe Germain could be the guy to back up Kurt Warner. And through the course of preseason, he realized he wasn't, and he was able to go out and get Jamie Martin.
2nd and 6 from the 38. Pass up the middle to Ricky Prohl and a first down near midfield. Of course, you remember Trent Green was the backup last year for Kurt Warner, and he went to Kansas City. And going into this year, everyone said, well, as long as Kurt Warner remains healthy, the Rams will be all right. But do they have enough of a veteran presence at quarterback to back him up? Mike Martz obviously feels he does.
Well, I think he feels better with Jamie Martin. I know that he did not feel real comfortable with Joe Germain, and he realized that if something were to happen to Kurt Warner, it would be extremely unfair to this football team not to have a capable backup that could come in and win football games for them.
From the 48-yard line, Martin on play fake, trying to protect the ball, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Well, coming up, the second half of our NFL box doubleheader, the Packers and the Vikings. Vikings need the game, and are the Packers for real at 5-1? We'll find out if they win this one.
Well, I tend to think that they are. I'm very impressed with the way their defense is playing, and Brett Favre is playing outstanding. A lot of question marks for the Minnesota Vikings, and yet Green Bay has struggled whenever they've gone there to the Dome and played against the Vikings.
Defense is the key for the Green Bay Packers, and I think anybody that wonders still if they're for real, just go back to last week's performance against Baltimore. Just a great performance, an unbelievably gutty performance by Brett Favre.
That's a good description for what that was for the Packers. 2nd down and 11 at the 42-yard line, and here is Robert Holcomb. Holcomb getting about 5 yards. Keep in mind that the Vikings today have Randy Moss, who's not 100%, and rookie running back Michael Bennett is out. Right now for a game break, here's James Brown in Los Angeles. JB.
Hey, Dick, Chicago looking to move to 4-1, their best start since '91. Miller hooking up with Marty Booker. Booker takes it in 13 yards for the play. Chicago on top of Cincinnati, 17-0 that in the fourth, 13-40 in the fourth. Dick, Troy, and Darrell.
How about them Bears?
They've really been exciting. No one expected them to get off to the start that they have, and we covered their first game against Baltimore. They lost, and they've been on fire ever since.
And they look good enough to win in that game as well. And Jamie Martin will get sacked for a loss of about 3 by Rick Lyle, and that will bring the punting team on for the Rams.
And Rick Lyle there, he was able to get around Orlando Pace, and you just don't see many people get a beeline on the quarterback when they're having to go up against him.
When you talk about the best tackles in football, one of the guys that people will mention are Orlando Pace, and you know, we've seen some versatility today with him lining up on the opposite side and doing some different things. As St. Louis has really showed us a lot of different things in their playbook today.
So John Baker punting for only the 2nd time. Gets off a booming kick. Craig East allows it to go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Rams, who are headed for their 6th straight victory, that's 3 years in a row at 6-0, will take a timeout. Rams leading, they have 34 points, but what about Lovie Smith's defensive unit? And in comparable games, the first 6 of a year ago, they have allowed fewer points, most of them by a wide margin.
Well, we talked about the 8 new players that they have, but the biggest key is that all 11 buy into his system, and I think every coach would tell you that that's what it takes in order for a group to be successful.
Chad Pennington beginning his 2nd series at quarterback of the Jets. Hands off to Lamont Jordan. Jordan picking up about 3. Well, the story today, the Rams, and it may not be on the carpet, but it's been street ball for them.
Well, they've pretty much opened up their entire bag. You got there running the option down the sidelines, and you know, they split Kurt Warner out. They pitched the ball off to Trump candidate and let him go, and Mike Martz has not left anything in the bag today.
And Trunk candidate with 195 yards rushing. That pass to Lamont Jordan is incomplete. Vinny Testaverde finished the day 9 for 13 for 73 yards. He threw 1 touchdown pass and 1 interception. That is significant because he was the only starting quarterback in the NFL who had not thrown an interception until today. 3rd and 8 for the Jets. And the Jets still looking for their first successful 3rd down conversion. Here is Jordan. And they've got it. Well, a Pyrrhic victory with 6:35 to go. Crowd of what's left of it cheering the Jets finally making the 3rd down conversion. Something, Troy, you talked about early on. You got to do.
Well, you got to do it, and you know, now you can't so much worry about 1st downs. You got to get the ball down the field with some big plays.
Here's Becht. Becht's getting 8 yards on 1st down.
And that seemed to be one of the things that was frustrating to the guys on this Jets offense is they wanted the reins to be taken off a little bit. You know, they've been in this system through mini camp and training camp and, you know, the first 4 or 5 games of the season. They want to start going downfield with the ball and get more vertical.
Flag is down and Pennington is down and Leonard Little got a head start. Let's see if it was too much of a head start. And for a game break, let's go to JB in LA.
Well, Dick, Redskins offense can't get it done, so they've got to rely on the defense to score. Winky's pass is deflected. A heads-up play by LeVar Arrington. He takes it 67 yards to the big house. He left the first half with a head injury. Here, a heads-up play, and Washington trailing by 7. 10 minutes left in the 4th. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
Could be a big week for Penn State with Joe Paterno finally getting over the hump last night over Northwestern and LeVar Arrington running it in for a score.
How could a Syracuse guy get in a Penn State mention during a broadcast?
You got a great point. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Pennington going toward Coles. And he was covered downfield by Dre Bly.
That's one of the names that we haven't heard a lot today, Lavernius Coles, and you know, a guy that has played very well for the Jets up until this point. And as the work started in the springtime, they brought in Matthew Hatchett, and there were some people that felt that you know, he wasn't going to be able to keep his spot, and he's just come in and worked and done everything that coaches have asked him to do, and he's actually become one of Vinny's favorite receivers right now.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that's helped him is that he's always been a fast guy, but he didn't have a very long stride, and by lengthening his stride, he was able to push up on defenders much easier.
And Matthew Hatchett, now you were just talking about Moose, the former Minnesota Viking. This is only his 2nd catch of the season, and it's a 15-yard play and a 1st down.
And that's not to take anything away from Matthew Hatchett. He came in and had a great camp too, but Lavernius just really elevated his play as they went into training camp. And you know, they've got themselves the pieces in place to be a productive offense in this West Coast style. They've got the great running back. They've got the ability to go to 3 wide receivers outside. Anthony Beck, you know, the tight end that's very important in that system.
Let's not forget Santana Moss, who has started running again, the #1 pick. Of course, Wayne Corbett not playing the 2nd half, so the Jets have been limited in that area. And here's the dump pass to Joe Soule. Soule changes hands wisely and is knocked out of bounds as the Jets get another 1st down, a 19-yard pickup to the 23 of the Rams. Wayne Corbett, who felt good enough the latter stages of the week after suffering the concussion. We saw the couple of hits he had to take earlier, sitting it out in the 2nd half.
Yeah, and the right thing for all these guys that aren't playing. And you know, in talking with Wayne Corbett yesterday, you could just sense some of the, you know, he's been so used to being the featured guy in their passing game, and this year he's kind of had to take a little bit of a different role, and it's been an adjustment for him up to this point.
Here's Pennington, who is 6 of 8 since he's been in there. And down he goes. Leonard Little, who has surpassed his career high. That is his 6th sack of the season. Loss of 8 on the play.
Chad Pennington was trying to get the ball to Matthew Hatchett right here. He's covered and he's got to hold the ball. He pulls it down. You'll see here at the end, he's looking out to the right to Matthew. Can't get that ball. Good play by not trying to force it, but even a better play right there by holding on to that football on the sack.
Here's Lamont Jordan open on the pass out of the backfield. Good for 10 yards. Be about 8 yards short of the 1st down. Davis and Polley making the tackle. Earlier we saw Curtis Martin on the sideline. He had a great start to this game, finished with only 62 yards rushing and 14 carries. That'll happen when your team falls down by a big margin. And nearly intercepted by Dre Bly. So 4th down coming up for the Jets.
You know, there's a shot there of Chad Pennington, and you know, this was a guy who was drafted last year from Marshall University, and this is his 2nd season, and in talking with the various coaches, they feel very good about his abilities, and they don't have any doubts that, you know, right now this is Vinny Testaverde's football team, but when Vinny moves on, this is going to be the guy that takes over for this club. He's a big, strong-armed guy, and has been very impressive in the little bit amount of time that he's gotten to play.
4th down and 8 for the Jets, and this pass incomplete. It was Tommy Polly who had the deflection. We have a flag down at the 25.
That's number 71.
Matthew Hatchett
Penalties decline. 1st down.
was the intended receiver, so the Jets will turn the ball over on downs. Aeneas Williams, reason to smile. The great cornerback is with a winning team.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Pontiac. What would you do with some Pontiac excitement? By Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. By KFC, there's fast food, then there's KFC. And by WorldCom, Generation D.
And welcome back to the Meadowlands. Dick Stockton, Troy Aikman, Moose Johnston, and Pam Oliver as the visiting St. Louis Rams, who are headed for their 6th straight win this year. 4-0 on the road, lead 34-7. Jamie Martin in his 2nd series at quarterback, handing off to Robert Holcomb, who bursts outside and gets 3 yards on the play. Let's look ahead. We've been talking about the Rams and the big game next week against the New Orleans Saints at home, the 2 NFC West games and a bye week, another division week, and so it goes.
Well, the big game next week is going to be big against New Orleans, but the other thing is they get the bye on November 4th, and that's going to serve them well when you talk about, you know, Marshall Faulk and his injury, and Ryan Tucker and his hand and shoulder, and so I don't know that the bye can be coming in at a better time for this football team.
Do they need any other advantages? 2nd down and 7 at the 24. 3:15 to go. The pitch to Holcomb. And Holcomb diving for the 1st down. And a fumble. And the Jets recover. James Reed on the recovery. So the Jets with 2 fumble recoveries, but trailing 34-7.
You see right here at the end of the run, Robert Holcomb getting held up, and Chris Hayes just pulls that ball right out of his hands, and that's the thing that Lovie Smith and Herman Edwards and the Tampa Bay style defense, you've got defensive linemen all around the ball. James Reed there to pick up that fumble that's caused by Chris Hayes.
And they're challenging.
Well, the officials are making this challenge. It's not being challenged by the Rams. Anything inside of 5 minutes or 2 minutes.
Mike Martz is challenging this.
And getting back to that game next week, another thing, you know, the fact that the Rams, you know, with an opportunity today to rest some of their guys, and right there it looks as though Robert Holcomb, his knee has not touched the ground, that ball will be ruled a fumble. But the fact that they're in a game right now where it's 34-7, and guys like Kurt Warner and Trunk Candidate and some of the other guys are getting an opportunity to really sit out this 4th quarter, where right now New Orleans is in a 4th quarter battle.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball was fumbled prior to down by contact. St. Louis is charged with their 1st timeout.
8-yard gain, and the Rams charged with the timeout. Well, today's game being produced by Richie Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. The associate director is Greg Scopatoni, and the broadcast associates are Jacob Ullman and David Duvall. Jacob Ullman, a gamer today. The technical producer is Dean Walker. The technical director is Rich Basili. And the audio mixer is Jeff Cohn. And on videotape today, Jay Beckman, Victor Gonzalez, Jerry Hausfeld, Paul Zecca, and Lars Pacheco. There are none better. The pregame show is produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. And the senior producer is Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And thanks to our helpers up here, Chris Fisser, our spotter, and Ben Buma, our statistician. is Chad Pennington, and nearly intercepted by Dre Bly, and a flag goes down. Matthew Hatchett and Bly, and time for Kurt Warner in this tense ball game in the waning moments to sign some autographs.
Yeah, I guarantee you right now, there's nobody from New Orleans down there signing autographs. They're in the middle of a fourth quarter of a tough football
Kurt's
game.
going to miss some plays if he keeps his back to the field like this. And it'll be a pass interference penalty against the Rams. Dre Bly.
Pass interference, defense, number 32, automatic first down.
All right, here's a game break. Let's check in with James Brown again. JB.
Hey, Dick, Troy, and Darryl, you won't believe this. Washington scored an offensive touchdown. Play action by Banks, hooking up top to the rookie, Rod Gardner, 85 yards to pay dirt. All tied in Washington at 14, 7 minutes and 25 seconds left in regulation.
I think it just shows you that besides the Rams, there's another offensive juggernaut in the league.
That's right. Burgundy and gold. First and 10 at the 17. Here's the fade to Matt Hatchett, and this time Dre Bly breaks it up, and another flag goes down, and this time it'll go against the offense. So let's see if Matt Hatchett pushed off on Dre Bly. So they go the other way.
Pass interference, offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, we just had one called on Dre Bly on the play before this for defensive pass interference. A little hand check and a little shove in there on the outside, but I'm going to stay with some of the other calls. We got a little tug there at the end, so. All right. I'll let that one go. But you know, having played with Michael Irvin, I have to tell you, I have seen much worse that has not been called.
I bet you have. First down and 20 on the 27 with 2:55 remaining in the game. And on the slant to Hatchett. Ball batted away. Dexter McCleon on the coverage. Well, a Ram fan in front of all the Jet fans. Good to see the youngsters in the sunshine still here. Kurt Warner still signing autographs.
Some guys' arms get sore from throwing the ball all afternoon. Kurt's going to have a sore arm from signing all afternoon.
Here's the Jets' upcoming schedule. They're on the road the next 2 weeks against the Panthers and the Saints. Lamont Jordan. He looks like a hard runner. Lamont Jordan, who is rookie from Maryland, picked in the second round. Well, let's see. The Jets should schedule the Dolphins because they're 3-0 against the Dolphins in their last 15 games, and they'll be 4-9 after this one against the rest of the pack. Pennington going underneath to Jordan again. He gets inside the 10-yard line near a first down.
You know, I think the biggest concern if I'm a New York Jet is that they've not played particularly well at home. They've lost too many games at home, and you know, 3 out of the next 4 ball games are on the road. Maybe that's a good thing, but if you're going to become a good football team, you've got to win the games when you play at home.
And the 2-minute warning. Long day for Herm Edwards as his team trails 34-7. Back at the Meadowlands, the second half of our doubleheader coming up soon. The Packers against the Vikings. The Vikings don't win at home. They'll be 3 games behind Green Bay and Chicago in the loss column.
Well, this is going to be a big game for them. There's no question about it. They started off slow, and for them to get back into this thing, they have got to start stringing some wins together.
And they got to start at home, where they just beat the Lions last week, 31-26. 4th down and 1. And here is Lamont Jordan, first down, and barreling his way toward the goal line. And gets to the 1. Dexter McCleon on the tackle. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Jets. And the Rams trying to get players on the field. And finally, the Rams call a timeout when they figured there were 14 players on the field, which is a little more than you're allowed.
Maybe the Jets should have used that philosophy today.
Let's take a look and wind back to the way this game has developed. 27 unanswered points by the St. Louis Rams. Warner having a brilliant day. 18 for 27 percentage-wise especially. But the story today, Trung Candidate. in his first NFL start for the injured Marshall Faulk, out with a knee bruise. 233 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and it just wasn't there for the Jets.
Well, now you look back on all the concern there was as to how this team was going to be able to play without Marshall Faulk, and what kind of job was Trunk Candidate going to be, and where was he going to be most effective or not effective. And he comes out and just plays lights out and did everything that was asked of him, and really single-handedly took over this ball game.
And a guy that they said would never replace the spectacular plays that Marshall Faulk can do on the football field.
Yeah, he had something.
Yeah, no, he had a couple of his own out there.
First and goal at the 2.
Eagle substitution, 12 men in the huddle on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, the Rams had to call a timeout. They had 14 out there, and now the Jets get penalized for having 12.
They're just trying to even it up a little bit. If you're going to go with 14, I'm going to have to at least bring in 12. And Herman Edwards cannot be happy with the way his team performed today, and but again, I think he's got this organization headed in the right direction. Some quality people in the front office. He's got some good young football players. I think they fit in well to both of the systems that they're implementing here. So I really enjoyed the time we spent with him on Friday. And
well, I think talking with him, he didn't say it. He didn't come out and say it. No coach ever would. But I really think that he knew that this football team was outmatched.
First and goal at the 7. Touchdown pass to Becht, his second of the game. So Anthony Becht catches one from Vinny Testaverde and one from Chad Pennington. So the 27 unanswered points in the game. The Rams took a 7-0 lead. Vinny Testaverde hit Anthony Becht, and then 27 straight points before this.
And this is another one of the areas that they needed some improvement today, was the play of Anthony Becht. He's been a little bit inconsistent, and he really will dictate whether they stay in the normal formations and personnel groups or go to 3 wides. And he's had a nice game today. It's hopefully a good positive step for him.
7-yard touchdown pass to Becht. John Hall with the conversion is good, and the Rams lead is 34-14. Well, Troy, you mentioned the fact that the Jets will have lost 3 home games already in the first 6 games of the season, and losing to the likes of the Colts, the 49ers, and now to the St. Louis Rams. And you're right, they may be looking to get out of town for a couple of weeks.
Well, they're going to get an opportunity to do that, but some teams, they tend to play better on the road for whatever reason that is. But if you look at the teams that are successful and you look at the teams that wind up making it to the playoffs, those are the teams that enjoy a home field advantage, and that's something that the New York Jets have not been able to establish here this season.
Well, a huge sports day for New York sports fans, and they hope the second part of it is better than this was, because tonight the league championship series continues at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Most of you will see the Mariners and the Yankees square off in Game 4 of the ALCS. You can catch the Diamondbacks and the Braves Game 5 of the NLCS over on Fox Sports Net. So check your local listings for the game and channel in your area. And it'll be Paul Abbott against Roger Clemens. Now, Clemens has the hamstring problem, and the other day in a workout wasn't feeling exceptionally fine. The Yankees had a 2-0 lead, winning 2 in Seattle, lost at Yankee Stadium as the Jets tried the onside kick. And it goes out of bounds.
Looks like they might have been offsides, too.
There's a penalty. I think you're right. So can Roger Clemens right the ship for the Yankees tonight, who want to avoid a 2-2 series? Lou Pinellas said, we're going to go back to Seattle for Game 6, and the Mariners want to prove him right.
The Yankees also having a little bit of trouble with their home field advantage in the ALCS right now also. So the Jets struggling at home, the Yankees struggling at home.
Offside, kicking team, number 33. Penalties declined. The kick went out of bounds more than 20 yards downfield. By rule, first down, St. Louis, at the spot where the ball went out of bounds.
That's a good point. The Yankees losing the first 2 of their divisional series in Oakland. Well, at home, I should say, and then winning in Oakland. So right now the Yankees have only 1 win at home, and that was the deciding 5th game over the A's in the divisional series.
I've got to go with Roger Clemens, though. I'm a big Roger Clemens fan, and I think that he's going to find a way to pull this one out. Hamstring or not.
That Texas? Is that the Texas in you?
Well, somewhat. You know, he's an old man, and he's still going strong.
Hey. We're getting pretty close to 39 ourselves there.
Boy, I wouldn't know what that's like. 1st and 10 at the 49 with 1:34 to go, and Jamie Martin takes the knee. So you saw the graphic. For only the 2nd time in NFL history, a team has started off 3 straight years 6-0. And last year the Rams ran into big trouble in Kansas City when they got Warner and Falk injured and lost their momentum and ultimately barely made the playoffs before going out early.
Well, and I think you know, as you mentioned, Dick, this is the team goes 6-0 for the last 3 years, and I think it's a real credit to what this organization has been able to do. And you talk about Charlie Army and his job of bringing in the players, and then what Dick Vermeil got going, and them being able to go on and win the Super Bowl. The guy that I think has really been responsible for getting this organization turned around outside of the players is Mike Martz. And I think if you look at what they were doing under Dick Vermeil, and they were struggling along, they were 4-12. They bring in Mike Martz to run this offense, and then they go on and win the Super Bowl, and they haven't looked back ever since.
And maybe silencing some of the critics today on the road, on the grass, one of those situations that a lot of people say will affect this football team. I think the way they won last week versus the Giants, coming out here and playing the way they did today, on the road, in the grass, outside, I think really shows that this is a much different football team than it was last year at the end of the season.
They have to be the Super Bowl favorite in the NFC coming in, and the game ends. And right now, let's go down to Pam Oliver with Trunk Kennedy.
All right, Dick, thanks a lot, Trunk. I guess they wanted to get you involved early. 232 total yards. I guess they got you involved.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, I'd just like to thank the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Thank my offensive line, and you know what James Hodges, my fullback, did out there today. You know, they got me involved early. You know, I was a little anxious, you know, when I was out there, a little nervous, and I was just trying to use the work for me.
All right, awesome job. Thanks a lot. Let's go back upstairs to Dick.
All right, Pam. So for Troy Aikman, Darrell Johnston, and Pam Oliver, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from the Meadowlands. Once again, the final score, the St. Louis Rams 34, the New York Jets 14. Be sure to stay tuned to Fox Sports for the postgame show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris right after these messages. And for more information on today's game, log on to foxsports.com. It was all Rams today on both sides of the ball. So long, everybody.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. Stay tuned for the second game of your NFL doubleheader.
Brett Favre returning to his MVP form coming up next as the Green Bay Packers and their outstanding defense get set to take on the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be coming up in the second half of our coverage of football action in the NFL here on Fox as we welcome you to the studio to give you a wrap of what's taken place thus far around the league. Howard, Terry, Chris, yours truly, JB. Trunk Kennedy, sensational day.
And man, Marshall Falk sitting it out with a bruised bone in his leg. Kurt Warner right off the bat. Akeem 15-yard touchdown on a play action and a post route. Beautiful job, 7-0. Then Akeem on a reverse, then an option to Trunk Kennedy. He takes it the remaining 44 yards. And it's 14-7 Rams in a pretty good football game until Vinny Testaverde down in the middle. Aeneas Williams is there for the interception, up with the interception. And you heard Troy Aikman say he was probably the best overall cornerback he played against in his entire career. Touchdown Rams, 21-7. And then Kennedy up the middle. Out of the shotgun, bangs it in for the touchdown of 12 yards. Big day for Trunk Kennedy. 195 yards rushing as the Rams take it and run with it, 34-14 over the Jets.
All right, in a close game between New Orleans and Atlanta. We're going to take you out to that contest. The announcers calling that one, Sam Rosen and Bill Moss. Atlanta looking for their 6th win in the last 7 trips to New Orleans. Let's join them right now.
And those of you who are watching the studio show, we welcome you to New Orleans. Saints are out of timeout. 16 seconds remaining. They trail 20-13. That pass is caught by Robert Wilson. The clock is running. It is ruled a catch.
And they won't give him the ball back in 4
They've got a second.
Just ran off the clock.
They've got 2 seconds remaining. One last play.
They held on to the ball, and they kept it, Sam. and they let 5 seconds run off the clock before they got the ball back to where they could snap it.
That's what the Saints are upset about. This was moments ago after New Orleans had kicked the field goal. Onside kick recovered by Sammy Knight. And now the Saints have one play to try and tie this game. Dan Reeves upset. I don't think he thinks that last play was a catch. Here it is. Here's the ball game. Aaron Brooks steps up, throws for the end zone, and it is knocked down, incomplete. Game over. Atlanta wins.
Falcons have picked up their 6th victory in the last 7 tries in New Orleans. They win it 20-13 over the Saints, improve to 3-3. The Saints drop to 3-2, that at the Superdome, as we come back inside to talk about this game. But you know what, before even talking about this one, Howie, let me go to the Jets and St. Louis Rams. St. Louis, awfully talented, an awful lot of weapons. Trunk candidate, a big day, but the onside kick by the Rams up 31-7. What could possibly be the explanation?
With 4:47 left in the 3rd quarter, and Steve Spurrier, I mean Mike Martz.
No, you may have had it right.
I may have had it right. I think Mike Martz is under the impression that he has to impress the BCS. In the National Football League, you earn the right to play in the Super Bowl by wins, not points scored against a weaker opponent. I thought it was kind of Bush League. I don't know.
I agree.
No, absolutely. It's uncalled for. Absolutely stupid thing to do. But then again, that's Mike Martz.
And again, it was amazing that Herman Edwards still went over and shook his hands at the end anyway, though. Good class move on that.
I agree with you. I thought the class came from the Jets coach, Herman Edwards.
Mike Martz is a brilliant guy.
What we're going to do,
now. You had
quick timeout, Hold tight, fellas. I'm going to take you out to the Redskins-Panthers game. Redskins are looking for their first victory of the season. Will be attempting a field goal. Let's join the announcers there now, Kenny and Tim.
We would like to welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Tim Green. In Landover, Maryland, the Carolina Panthers led this game 14-0 over the winless Redskins in the 4th quarter, but the Redskins have come back and are about to line up for a field goal. Redskins 2 touchdowns this quarter, a 67-yard interception return by LeVar Arrington, and an 85-yard pass play from Tony Banks to Rod Gardner.
Redskins offense was awful all day long. Just self-destructing with penalties, with a Stephen Davis fumble, a Tony Banks interception. But then in the end, they come back after the LeVar Arrington touchdown. Banks finally connects deep, and the Panthers have kept the Redskins in it with 4 Chris Weinke turnovers. All of those interceptions coming off of Redskins blitzes.
31-yard attempt for Conway. Barker puts it down, and Conway's kick is no good.
Oh, my goodness.
So the ineptness of the Washington Redskins continue as they miss that field goal and an opportunity to try and pick up their first victory of the season. Still tied with 36 seconds left in Landover, Maryland. We'll be back in just a bit. We'll bring you more highlights from around the NFL and find out if Washington can pull it out. Well, this duo for the Minnesota Vikings will certainly have to be on in a critical game. Randy Moss and Chris Carter coming up against the Green Bay Packers. Randy Moss has owned the Packers with big performances. He'll need one today as we show you the second half of our game here on Fox as we welcome you back into the studio 2A here in Los Angeles, California. Let's get you caught up on the scores in the National Football League. St. Louis, of course, a big victory over the New York Jets, 34-14. Trunk candidate, a sensational day, 195 yards in place of the injured Marshall Faulk.
Ricky Williams looking to have a big day, get the Saints off and rolling at home, but it's not. Right there. Cam Cleveland, corner, man-to-man coverage, reaches out, touchdown pass of 19 yards, and we're all tied up. Now Chandler, big day, 2 touchdown passes, play action left, rolling right, gets the flow out of the middle, Howie. Take your man, go back against the other way. He finds Sean Jefferson, 39-yard touchdown. Falcons go into New Orleans and